This is the Randomer Nintendo Podcast episode. I totally forgot. What number? 52?
Yes.
52 for, when's tomorrow? November 26th, 2024. I am one of your hosts, Kevin. To my virtual left, as always, Jason.
Hello, and you are on the ball today, Kevin. I can tell.
Just barely. And to my virtual right is Angel.
It's 52. How many weeks are in a year?
Yes, it is. So theoretically, you can listen to an episode a week for an entire year.
Just think of the joy that can bring you.
I mean, I knew that number has significance just because a lot of, I guess, old cartoons, maybe not even that old, just imagine your Channel 5 cartoons when we were growing up. And most of them had 52 episodes and then were just done because then you could just run one new episode for a whole year. And that's pretty much why a lot of those have 52 episodes.
I actually never knew that. Look at these fun facts you can get if you go back and re-listen to all 52 episodes.
It's not a coincidence or a weird random number they just stopped on. But for some reason, unless they were like making a lot of money off of merch, almost every show just ended on 52 episodes.
That's so strange because you would think they would take off Christmas and other holidays. So really they would only need like 50.
You'd
think so. But it's just for reruns. It's just reruns.
Well, if you think about it too, like every cartoon back then had two 15-minute shorts or whatever, 12-minute shorts. So we're getting 100 episodes.
That's true.
Yeah. Any diddle.
Do you remember the New 52?
That's a DC thing, right? Like when they rebooted?
Yeah, it's when they did their first like relaunch.
And people were not happy about that one, I want to say.
I think people... It was right after Flashpoint.
Or were they happy about that one and not happy about everything. Rebirth? Because I know
they weren't happy with Rebirth, yeah.
Ah, okay.
The New 52, for all intents and purposes, was like a success, for sure.
So why
it got me to start reading DC Comics.
Why 52? Was there a comic a week for a full year? Why was it New 52 and not 53 or 58?
It was 52 new titles.
Interesting.
And by new titles, I mean like Batman was a title, Superman was a title. Like,
sure, yeah. Like 52 like concurrent comics that were running in some capacity.
Correct. I don't know how much you know about comic books, Jason, as far as their like numbering schemes and stuff like that.
Not a whole lot. To be honest.
Typically,
like a Batman
they'll be released by
stars.
Volumes. And so New 52 essentially was everybody going to a new volume, essentially.
All
like
at once.
Every book had a new creative team and that kind of stuff, yeah.
I see, okay, yeah. Yeah, I knew they restarted numbering schemes,
the number.
but yeah, that makes sense.
But then you also have some like Detective Comics that's still going, that is like on number like 300 something or something crazy like that.
Right. Well, that Nexus Nebula web of different comics with different volumes and different concurrent things that could be the same person is what I feel like Marvel is trying so hard not to fall into when they were doing the movies, and then they started to kind of dip into some confusing stuff with the multiverse things.
They don't really have
overwhelming people. I mean, not in the same way in terms of like there's two Iron Mans at once, but they're kind of dabbling in that now, and that's when the mainstream started to be like, wait, what? So
you might know the answer to this, Kevin, but like I know DC, for lack of a better term, does try to. They have one long continuity that is kind of broken up by these like reset events. So in a way, it's like, oh yeah, all that stuff did happen, but now it doesn't matter because the universe got reset. But you know, you could argue it did happen at some point. Does Marvel have like one continuous continuity, or like did they just have like Spider-Man stories throughout the years, or is it like, yep, if you started following back in the 90s, that's still the same Spider-Man story today?
They've reset. There was an event a few years back ago called Secret Wars.
That's what Secret Wars was for them?
No. So the original Secret Wars was just like the one back in the 80s, I want to say, was originally just like an event. While Secret Wars, everything that happened after Secret Wars was essentially a relaunch where it merged the Ultimate Universe and the regular 616 universe into one. So you had characters like Miles Morales, who was an Ultimate Universe character, moving into 616. And
Through
so
in-universe means, or just like
through in-universe
starting?
means. Mm-hmm.
Oh, gotcha.
Mm-hmm. So that was sort of, I believe the branding of that series of comics was called Fresh Start, or I don't know. Marvel is really, really bad. Like every couple of years, they'll do a brand new initiative to get in new readers. I remember when I was getting into comics, it was called like Marvel Now, and then a few years later, it was like all
Marvel
new, all what was it? It was like all new, all damn. I forgot what it was after. It was Marvel Now. That was the relaunch. Then after that, it was Marvel Legacy, and then there was another relaunch that was called All New, All Different Marvel. And then like Marvel's really, really bad with it. And then when it comes to comic series, for whatever reason, Marvel, whenever a new creative team takes over a comic book run, they will then relaunch it, going back to number 1. But then it being like, oh, this is volume 6 of Wolverine, even though it only has 12 comics because it's only this creative team for 12 comics. Oh, that's one volume, and then we got a new creative team that's going to be volume 7, and we're back to number 1. So it's
not at all confusing.
They're crazy. Yeah, they're really weird with their stuff.
Also,
and they just launched a brand new universe too.
They did?
Launched they now have an Ultimate Universe again. That isn't the same Ultimate Universe from the early 2000s when they launched that imprint.
Yeah, some of these names. I mean, to have a new one called Legacy is a little confusing. To have one called All New, All Different is like one step away from Oops All Marvel, where it's like the major. Like all these names are really, you know what I mean? Like they're really.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
they
gotta keep reinventing themselves. I heard. I don't know if it's still the case, but I know like comic book sales in general have just been going down. Understandably in this day and age, and maybe they've recovered, but
I'm curious how much like apps are taking, like Comixology or like. DC or Marvel
has
yeah, exactly.
Because even looking at even using my brother as a case study, he still collects like just the core Batman and Flash comics, but everything else will just read through the app.
Yeah,
which I essentially like started to do with the Ninja Turtle stuff. Like the main line story, I would get the actual issues, and over time, like, it just got bigger and bigger, and they started adding a bunch of side stories that I'm just like, I'm not going to buy all these physical comics. That's just way too much. I mean, you also have those other instances where you have, like, let's say the core Batman story, like, introduces, like, this villain or some event happens, and they call it, like, Monster and Madness, but it's, like, Monster and Madness number 1 is Batman number 20, and then Monster and Madness number 2 is like Green Lantern number 85. So, so they kind of make you buy comics from other series just to like keep up with that one story.
Except now you can just do it in an app.
Yeah, which, it's a little annoying, but I get what they're doing. It's like, yay, maybe you'll like try some Green Lantern. Maybe you'll like them.
Yeah, it's it's like a backdoor pilot when a show does a spinoff, except kind of in reverse here.
Pretty much,
yeah. But it is interesting because, like, to your point, about like collecting or not, like just thinking about it out loud, like it does seem like physical media, music in particular, there's kind of like a fork happening. Either you're selling it as collector's items and you come out with like 26 different variations of vinyls for an album, and all the diehard fans will buy like all 26, or you just go strictly streaming. Like there's not, and obviously there's some people that dabble in between, but like if you think about how like the steel books of movies are announced the day the movie comes out, and no one really cares about the standard edition. It's either you get like the premium fancy, the $200 Assassin's Creed Deluxe set, or you just download it. And there's like nothing in between. Like, it's really interesting how that's kind of the way things are falling now. Yeah.
Yeah, if I missed the window to get a steelbook,
you're not going to get the movie.
I usually won't bother. I'll just wait until I could grab it later.
I suspect comics are going through the same cycle as everything else with this digital / collecting physical divide.
Before we move away anymore from 52, I did just want to bring up that it's also the name of a very popular and classic game, 52 Pickup.
Everyone's favorite game except the one person who is the main player.
Which I think it's only fun for the dealer, and even then they're usually just after for starting it. I feel like I've always picked it up if I ever initiated it, which is why I don't initiate it often. But yeah.
What is 52 pickup?
It's you have a deck of poker cards. Usually you remove the 2 jokers, so it's 52 in total. And you just do like a shuffle with the cards, or you like bend them so that they just start spraying all over the room and they just fall on the floor. And you just hit 52 to pick up.
It's when
it's not really a game. It's just more
when
like
you want to do a fun prank in the same style as writing pen 15 on someone's hand. You could do 52 card pickup, where you're just like, you want to play, and they just shoot the cards across the room,
and then you drop the cards, and it's like there you
everywhere, and it's like pick up.
Yeah.
So like Angel, you would be, oh, you want to play 52 pickup, and I say sure, and then you just throw the cards in the air, and you tell me to pick them up.
Essentially, yes.
That's
what
exactly
if I refuse to pick them up?
Well, then that's why Angel was saying as the
dealer,
up
or stand my ground and leave them there.
What a stupid game!
It's for like 4th graders, like to be
I gotcha. It was an elementary school thing.
That's why I made the pen 15.
The problem is I can still see you try to do that like now.
Oh, 100%.
I thought about it.
Now. He would definitely do that. Yeah,
but I haven't though. I definitely haven't done it since. At most, maybe middle school.
I was waiting for you to be like, I haven't done it for at least 2 years, guys. Like, come on.
and I know exactly who it was. Probably to our friend Eric, as both you know. But yeah, I'm usually not one to want to create a mess. So yeah, that is. That.
I wonder what the Vegas version of 52 pickup would be like.
Somehow you have to, I guess, find a card. I don't know.
Yeah, how does the house
I guess
have the advantage there?
That's how they deal for 21, I guess.
All I know is I feel like I wouldn't want to pick the cards up off some of those casino floors because some of those casino floors are gross. So, yeah, that would be a version of the game I would never play.
Yeah, well, aside from that tangent, how have you guys been?
Angel?
Overall?
Not everybody at once.
I have since recovered from the Japan trip that I mentioned last time, but only just a couple days ago, I was talking to Jason about this and mentioned to Kevin, but my phone finally recovered fully from AI cat videos. And, you think internet and cat videos, but no, it's like a whole new breed. Pun intended. No, it wasn't intended. That just kind of came out.
That was good though. That was good. Good breed. Good pun.
Good
breed of pun.
But I mean, in a nutshell, in case you haven't seen them, and you're scrolling through Instagram and something like what I described pops up, just immediately scroll away because these things are so aggressively active in the algorithm. Or the algorithm just assumes you watch one that you must be obsessed with them. But long story short, they're completely AI generated. Sometimes they have animation. Sometimes they're just like a slideshow. But it's basically just short, what we'll call stories. Some of them are kind of hard to follow sometimes. But they're usually set to the Billie Eilish Barbie song, but all in meows. And you'll have a typical story, and I do mean typical story, is like 2 cats fight, one cat leaves, the other cat, and they're usually anthropomorphic in some way. And the cat that leaves is like feeling angry, the cat that stays gets blown up in the building or a plane or a submarine or a school. And then the other cat is sad because the other person died, so they go to the gym, get super buff, become a fireman. And they end up saving like a kid from a fire, but then they're too slow to escape, so then they end up blowing up too. And it usually ends with like the tombstone of like that cat as buff human next to the other person that they were angry with, be it a cat or a person.
They've
gotten weirder.
This was all prefaced with the typical story is how Angel started that description.
No, I feel like they typically go like this.
Oh, I thought you meant the typical story, and I'm like,
no,
not typical.
No. The story is not typical. This is just how they typically go. There's usually some kind of like Yeah, usually there's just there. It seems like their goal is to be like very depressing or sad, or I guess in some cases like, oh look, cat in street is like like skin and bones, like they're starving, and then they get made fun of. Oh, now they're at the gym and they're like ripped as heck, and now they're happy or they get the girl cat or something. Or you have some other ones where you have like cat goes to space, spaceship blows up, pregnant cat wife that's stuck on Earth becomes depressed, but then marries the president, who's apparently Trump in this version. Or there's also like shark fights, aliens, but it's usually always that Billie Eilish song or some other song that I can't identify that I'm sure one of you two would know right away, but we're not about to try to figure out what the meow version of that was.
Yeah, I'm afraid to open any of these videos. I don't want to corrupt my algorithms.
But yeah, point that I shared them with Kevin and Jason because they
just randomly
popped up. They randomly popped up.
Yeah, they were forced on you by both of us.
And then first I was like, oh, this is weird. And like the animation is just like, it's just really bad. Like, it's AI generated. Like they don't know how a character's supposed to walk sometimes, so you get a lot of weird morphing. But they're oddly like, but you also want to see where it goes because it's just like, because it's AI and it's just like it's just random. So you're unfortunately like, at least I was like curious just to see where they went. I was usually always left with regret. Like, I wish I hadn't just finished that. Because then, like I mentioned, like they just started appearing all over the place. Like, I feel like for a couple days, like right before I left Japan and a couple days after, like if I were to scroll through my reels, like 9 out of 10 of them would be these AI cat things. I just kind of left it alone for a while, and everything seems to be fine now. Jason sent me some link on how I can manually remedy that.
Instagram is letting you reset your algorithm. It's mostly for teenagers who have shifting interests, they claim, but it's also very specifically for you in this situation.
Yeah, the scary thing is,
question.
These are getting millions of views, and I'm sure someone's making a lot of money off of it. There's like accounts called like official meow AI, or like stuff like that. That just, I'm sure they just generate a couple, post one every day, make money.
I think it's important to note as well that the specific art style of these is that glossy, semi-realistic, but also slightly cartoony art style. So it's not like these are super janky or hyper-realistic. They're kind of that weird, stylized,
but that's like the AI style, I feel.
You know what I mean? Because AI can have a few different styles. This is the one that like tries to be realistic, but you can still tell it's not like.
Give it a couple years, and you're gonna see a plush kitty with clothing in Target, and when you squeeze, it's gonna do the Billie Eilish meow song. Which don't feel bad because that song was kind of depressing, but now it's like the cat song.
I have a question for you, real quick.
Sure, love that. Yo,
when you said that your timeline is finally clear of these AI cats, right? When exactly did that happen? When you came back from Japan?
A couple days after Japan, maybe like.
What if you were just targeted those videos while you were in Japan, and that's what everybody loves over there?
That is possible. Oh man!
What if they get down with that? With that,
they do love their cats over there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what if you're being pumped all this stuff that, like, obviously they know that you're in Japan. These phones are tracking us 24/7.
Yeah.
So what if they're like, all right, well, he's in Japan. Let's show him what people around here love.
Just think, Angel, when you went to Don Quixote that we talked about last episode, the store that had everything, maybe there was a whole AI cat merch section that you didn't see. Maybe this is like the thing in Japan.
Yeah, this wouldn't be surprised if we find like AI cat gachas over there. No.
I will point out you did say that you watched them all the way through to the end because of curiosity, and you also point out that the cats always die at the end. So I'm just going to say it, and you guys can groan all you want. Curiosity killed the cat, quite literally, with these videos, huh? Over and over and over. Thank you for your silence. That's exactly what I was looking for. Carry on.
That's okay.
What about you, JC?
Well, I haven't been consuming cat videos, but I've been on my Linkin Park grind. That's literally been the only thing I've listened to for the past 10 plus days because I got it early.
You poor thing.
Legally. Hey, I enjoy it.
I'm kidding.
No, I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding too. But yeah, no, it's been. I mean, I talked about it in September when I got to go to this show where they revealed their new singer Emily Armstrong and put out a song, and we were kind of talking about it then. But like, yeah, I don't know. I have yet to decide. I know they have interviews where they're sort of saying, well, it was organic and the band was just making music, and then we brought in Emily and some other people and we just kept making music. We were kind of building the band while building the album. I don't know if the desire to make the music came from them wanting to go out on tour and needing a new singer, or if the desire for them to make new music came from wanting to make new music, and then as they made new music, they're like, oh, we could go take this on tour. But I will say that if you need like a sampler of all the different styles that Linkin Park can be and do, and you want to see if their new singer Emily can hit those marks, From Zero, which is the new album, is basically a hodgepodge of all the different sounds they've done in their discography, combined with a little peek at like what they could be doing next with this new singer and drummer and whatnot. And it's all just kind of smushed into a 32-minute thing, and I really like it. It's really good. They hit like, there's a song, if you like Hybrid Theory and Meteora, there's a song that sounds kind of like Faint, and there's one called Two-Face that's like the sister song of a song called Figure 09, which is a bit of a deep cut, but One Step Closer might be something closer to what more the broad public knows, but it's really like Figure 09. If you like Minutes to Midnight and a song like Bleed It Out, they have a song called Cut the Bridge that's kind of a similar sort of hoedowny situation. If you like their poppier stuff, like they have a song called Over Each Other, that's kind of another called Stained, and Over Each Other is kind of like a ballad, and Stained is like kind of this poppy chorus, and they really like check all the boxes of like what could a Linkin Park album be, what could a new singer do, and this has it all. Like as a fan, they're like, I feel like my identity of fandoms is like Nintendo, Linkin Park, and Conan are like my big three. I mean, this is right. I'm probably a little biased because I'm such a big fan, and I'll follow Mike Shinoda anywhere with any projects he does. But I was really pleasantly surprised at how much, even without having Chester and his, like iconic singing, how much this feels like as the DNA of Linkin Park throughout the entire project. And it's really, I was kind of saying this in September, but it's really cool when out of nowhere your favorite band just comes back and like goes big, and you get to be like part of it in these different ways. Like I got to go to the concert where they revealed all this, and then they continued to loop me in on things, which has been great. I got to go like they did this great thing. A lot of bands are doing this now, actually. Speaking of like vinyls, collectors versus digital streaming, a lot of bands are starting to do like pre-release listening parties at indie record stores, like vinyl shops. So there was one over the hill from me in Studio City here in LA. Got to go to that like a week before it came out. Got to hear the album in full there. Got some free swag. Got like a shirt and a poster and stuff. And then like the following week, I got in, if not, I guess this is now days before it comes out, I got into a listening party at Linkin Park's record label through the fan club. Same way I got into the concert. That was on their rooftop. It was at sunset. It was on a rooftop overlooking downtown LA. They had like speaker set across the whole rooftop. They were blasting the album. They bought us all pizza, and there's swag, and there's like a red carpet, and the band was playing in Columbia that day, so they weren't there, but they like really went all out for like just letting us hear it in a way that wasn't just, on headphones on a laptop. So that was cool. So I kind of got like pre-fed the album, which maybe got me a little more like hyped. But yeah, it's literally been the only thing. I wonder how many times I've even listened to it. But it's been like the only thing I've been listening to for the last like 10 days, and it's been great. Obviously, no one can replace Chester, but I could not be happier with how Linkin Park came back in such like a Linkin Parky way and checked so many boxes in such a compact little album. And they're going on tour again, and they're playing Dodger Stadium next summer. And again, because they treat their fans so well, they had a pre-sale just for us Legacy fan club owners. And Ticketmaster these days, how hard it is to get a ticket to anything. Imagine if you and like a couple hundred other people just had like 2 hours head start on a concert at a venue like Dodger Stadium, where you could pick any seat in the stadium, no questions asked, no queue, no wait. You just log in and pick. That's how the ticket sale went for me. So it's been really cool to not just have my favorite band come back, but to feel like because I've been my favorite band for so long, I've gotten this like weird inside track of being close to all the band's actions and getting to do stuff in relation to them with like first dibs and little bonuses and freebies and concerts. And yeah, so I've been good. To answer your question, Kevin, I've been good. It's been a fun couple weeks.
You've been good, and the Linkin Park album is good.
Yeah, right? I was going to ask you. That was going to be my next question.
I'm telling you. I have not heard the album. I heard the first 3 singles.
Okay.
I tolerated Emptiness
Yeah,
Machine.
I remember you saying that initially. Yep.
Heavy as the Crown is like it's
faint.
It's not good faint.
Whoa.
It's not as good faint. It's not as good faint.
I will. It's hard to replicate the exact same thing at the same. Yeah. If I like it a lot, but I will say it took me a little while. Like initially, I was like, oh, okay, and after a few days, I was like, okay, but yeah, it didn't grab me in the way Faint did back in the day. That is true.
And then I forgot that third song that they released, and I was
over
like,
each other. Yeah.
Yeah. They were barely 1 for 3, so I don't think that I'm gonna give the rest of the album.
But I will say, if you're
I'm happy that you're happy.
Thank you. I was gonna say though, if you're a fan of the first 2 albums, check out Two Faced. It's a goofy music video where they're kind of like embracing, oh yeah, new metal, but like, I mean, it has like a record scratch, like bridge breakdown from Mr. Han in the way that like Hybrid Theory and Meteor did. Like it's literally, you can overlap it with like Figure 09 and it like lines up almost perfectly. It's arguably almost too cookie cutter, but if a band's trying to like reprove their footing with a new singer, I understand why they did it and I'm cool with that. But yeah, that's the one that was, I mean, listening to it, I was just like, whoa, I feel like I'm back in like 2001. Like it's, yeah. So, but anyway, that's all I got on that. So I'm good. How have you been, Kevin? No one asked you. How have you been?
No one ever needs to ask me how I've been. I have been, finally relieved. A busy season at work just finally ended. I really only have 2 major days of work that I have to work before the end of the year, and aside from that, I'm just cruising towards the out of office days.
Nice,
thankfully.
Nice.
Finally have some time. Finally play a little bit more Metaphor. Maybe finally finish up Final Fantasy Rebirth. Catch up on some animes that I haven't watched this season. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this break. You guys are getting some sort of break too, right? I'd imagine.
I mean, I'm going to be taking days off, and I have like Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving off.
Yeah, just the usual.
I don't have like a winter break.
Thanksgiving.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't necessarily have a winter break. Like the last week and a half. Like I don't have to be in office. But yeah, that's pretty much what I mean. More or less the same thing that you guys have.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely they don't like shut down the office.
Like
I don't think they haven't told us yet. But let me put it this way: one of those weeks I'm in Utah, so come get me, work, come drag me back from Utah.
What are you doing in Utah?
Just visiting family. Yeah, we're gonna be there around Christmas / Hanukkah because it's the same time this year. Starts the same day.
Flyover state, nice.
Yeah. Snowy flyover state. Visiting from a place where there is no snow, so it'll be a enjoyable snowy experience. Might go skiing for the first time since I was in middle school. So if I come back with broken bones to a January episode, you'll know why.
Okay. Well, sounds fun. Well, let's get on with this episode, huh? Why don't we start with Mario and Luigi Brothership?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So, what was I expecting? Okay, yeah, I could talk Mario and Luigi. I was like, oh, I'm still in Linkin Park mode. But yeah, I guess to preface all this, I should say what I'm about to discuss are my early-ish impressions. Like, I know the game's been out a few weeks and whatnot, but as I was stating, I was listening to Linkin Park a lot. No, but the thing with this game is, like, it feels everything I've played so far and what I've kind of read online is it's a pretty stretched-out game. Like, it takes, like, 10 hours just to get battle plugs, which is the game's version of badges, like from Paper Mario, for, like, equipping abilities and moves and stuff during battle. So if it takes 10 hours to just get like a battle mechanic, it's a stretched out game. But the reason I want to talk about it now, even though I'm not quite at battle plugs even, is this is also the first Mario and Luigi game not by Alpha Dream, who is now bankrupt and closed, but it's instead by the team at Acquire, who you guys might know as the developers behind Octopath Traveler, which is another one of those things that Nintendo just didn't announce in advance. It just like it came out and people kind of figured it out looking at the credits. But it's interesting to see what they've brought to the table of Mario and Luigi as a franchise. And so far, like, there's actually some kind of noteworthy stuff, which is kind of, I guess, what I want to focus on now at this point in my brothership journey, I guess. I don't know what to call it. I mean, neither of you guys have played it, right? I'm the only one here who's touched it so far.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not that I haven't been interested or anything. I just haven't gotten around to it. It came out the day... I think the day that I came back to the U.S. was the day that it released.
Came out like the 7th or something. Yeah, 7th or 8th.
7 or 8.
That Thursday. Yeah.
So it just wasn't good timing, and and then time
that's fair.
And before you know it, it's been a couple weeks apparently. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah, right. Kevin, you about to say something too? I feel like I heard you.
Yeah, I haven't played it, but I'll also sort of no surprise that Nintendo didn't mention anything about who's developing this, because now Nintendo I feel like is going into this, is becoming this sort of entity that just wants, they want all their products to be known as a Nintendo product.
Yeah.
And not as this person or this team is what created this piece of art, It's really weird.
It's jarring from just a decade ago under Iwata's leadership, where they were propping up this whole cult of personality, as I called it at the time, where it's look at all these people and all they do, and we'll do videos where we have the developers speak and things like that. It is a swivel. It is a complete 180.
Remember when Metroid Prime 4 was originally announced, and we're wait, who's the developer? And we didn't know who the developer was forever.
Yeah,
until people did some snooping around.
Yeah, and then we only really found out because people snooped, and then they changed developers. They had to announce, well, now it's with Retro, because you guys found out it was with these other guys. Yeah, speaking
the guys
of Metroid,
that should have been from the beginning.
Yeah, right. Speaking of which, little Metroid tangent. It was just announced today, and it looks really cool. There's a $50 concept art book of Metroid Prime 1, 2, 3, and Remastered, with a foreword by the producer of the series, with interviews and excerpts from the Retro Studio guys. It's official. From the it's by Piggyback Books, I think, but it's licensed by Nintendo. They're actually putting the developers by name in the book. It comes with a foil cover with Samus, and it comes out next summer. But it looks really slick. It's $50. But I feel like Metroid in particular has such cool concept art. I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, the GameCube days, Nintendo would drip feed out some of the concept art. It looks so cool. I think I had more forum signatures on various websites.
Thing?
What?
Oh, I found it. Never mind.
Oh, yeah, you found it. But as I say, I think I had more forum signatures
on
various websites with Metroid concept art in the banner of my signature than I did games I played way more, just because the art was so cool. So that book's exciting. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, no, it is weird how Nintendo does that pivot. It definitely, I think you're right, Kevin. They're very much this is a Nintendo property. If you're buying it, just know it's Nintendo excellence. Don't question who made it. I imagine some of that is because a lot of their developers are aging out, the big names, Miyamoto, Onuma, Hideki Kona, all these different people who have done Mario and Zelda and I was gonna say Master Sword and Mario Kart and Animal Crossing. They're kind of aging out, but it's weird they're not sort of backfilling that with new names to promote. They were doing that Star Switch in the end of the Wii U. We learned the name of the guy who did ARMS and all these different things, and then the Splatoon guys, and then they kind of just stopped doing that. And I don't know if that was because Iwata was developer first, so he wanted to put developers in the spotlight, and every president since, up through Furukawa now, are more business-oriented, so they're thinking more of Nintendo as a corporate entity. I don't know, but it is an interesting pivot that definitely happened. Yeah, and Brothership's continuing that by not telling anyone that Acquire made the game. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, with Brothership, I do want to talk about kind of the more new stuff, the noteworthy stuff they're doing that's different than other Mario and Luigi's. One that immediately jumped out to me is that while a lot of Mario and Luigi games introduce new gameplay themes, you go inside a body, you go into dreams, you mash up with Paper Mario, whatever. Brothership actually seems to have a broader narrative theme that then informs some of the gameplay. So for a game that's on the surface themed around ships and sailing, a ton of the experience so far has actually been around the idea and theme of connection in the figurative sense of trying to reunite this separated world, and within that world separated siblings, but also through the quite literal in your face metaphor of practically everything and everyone in this game they are plugs. You're using plugs. You know, the type of thing you connect things into, outlets, sockets, whatever. Everything's plugs. And I think I think it's just interesting that the game's like actually trying to do like some theme around like connecting to one another and not losing touch with people and things. And the basic premise here is that Mario and Luigi got warped into this world of Concordia. Again, right there, Concord, a riff. That's a riff on a word that means agreeing or bringing together of groups. But anyway, this world's been split into a bunch of different...
You're going to point out the cord, like extension cord. But yeah.
Also that. Didn't even think of that. It works on 2 levels. But yeah, and the world's been split into like a bunch of different islands. It's up to you as Mario and Luigi, who are 2 brothers who themselves just were reconnected at the start of the game after very briefly and very Mario movie style splitting up in a giant air tunnel as they fly through the sky and then grab each other's hand and spin. It's literally shot for shot the Mario movie. But yeah, you're reunited, and now it's up to you to help reunite the islands and the inhabitants, including, like I was saying, family members that were estranged and things like that. And to do these connections, you're exploring a variety of individual islands. You're ultimately making your way on each island to a lighthouse that has a giant outlet plug on the top of it. In the game's lore, these lighthouses, they were previously all connected together. The world was all connected, and it shared a resource called connectar, like nectar. You see, connect and nectar together, connector. But with the world split apart, basically you're now needing to rebuild those connections island by island. And there's a lack of connector on these islands as you first visit them, so certain parts are closed off on your initial run through and then open up later. So you reach the lighthouse, you literally grab a giant outlet plug, and in this very slick cinematic, you essentially air surf the outlet plug all the way back to the hub that connects all the lands, the Unitree. You see, again, unity and tree together. Yeah. And that's located in the hub world, which is called Ship-Shape Island. Few things to unpack in what I just described. First off, even with different developers, the pun game in Brothership is as strong as ever. I mean, even the title, Brothership, but the puns are everywhere. And as a lover of puns, I am all for this. I will say that so far, outside of the puns, the overall humor hasn't quite hit in the way some past Mario and Luigi's have. There's still the ongoing fascination with their mustaches, and there's attempts at like a couple running gags. There's one where they constantly point out that your little companion character, who kind of looks like a pig, isn't a pig. Everyone's like, he always like proclaims he's not a pig, which sure, I don't really know what's sure.
Are pigs common in that universe? That
no, I don't understand why he keeps saying it. He's just like, they're talking and someone's like, oh, you're a pig, and he's like, no, I'm not. It's like, why? Well, I don't know really what the joke is here, but okay. But so there's that.
I guess someone really loved the fact that when it designed them, I wanted them to look like a pig.
Yeah,
but
like
not.
Yeah, I don't know, because like all the characters have like plug faces. All the characters of Concordia, like they look like little outlet sockets. So his nose looks like a snout because he's this little red thing with a snout that's yellow like a socket, but not a pig. Don't you dare, not a pig. And there's of course pig puns you always say, even though he's not a pig, and I just don't. But yeah. Anyways, that's one attempt at humor. There's also this weird old turnip guy who. He shouts almost like Fawful meets a fortune cookie type of like isms at you when you come across him on various islands. But like, I don't know, nothing so far has been super memorable, like humor wise outside the puns. I mean, like Fawful became a meme back in Superstar Saga before the word meme was ever memed. Like he was a meme when that word didn't exist in the way it does now. And Brothership by comparison, like I feel like they kind of stepped back from the zaniness a little, at least so far. In favor of this kind of more cohesive theme of connection that's really like it's very permeating throughout like every facet of the game. So that was kind of interesting that they kind of pivoted a little there. The second thing I noticed, actually you might have noticed, and I've also noticed that I said hub world. I described Ship-Shape Island as a hub world. And this might be the first Mario and Luigi with an actual, like, honest-to-God hub world. Not a place you may repeatedly visit throughout your adventure, but, like, a place you come back to between every island you visit. It's how you get to new ones. It provides a way to quickly jump back to the previously visited ones that have the new open areas because the connector is flowing. The hub even has a gameplay mechanic of its own where you're sailing. And the way these functions all kind of, like, crisscross really makes up the flow of gameplay for Brothership that I feel like kind of stands out compared to other Mario and Luigi's. So the sailing mechanic is the glue here in a lot of ways. The hub, Shape-Shape Island, or Shipshape. I keep saying Shapeshift. It's Shipshape Island. It is itself a ship and an island, so the name's fitting. But at any given moment, it's riding one of many looping currents. So you can navigate which current you want to ride the loops of by just choosing it on a map, essentially. You can jump between the different currents by presetting them on a map. And it's along these currents that new islands all sit for you to go visit as you get close to them. So you need to like pick your current, set sail, and when you get near the island of interest, you run over to this big old cannon at the top of Shipshape, and you shoot Mario and Luigi over to the given island in this kind of goofy cinematic. And the islands themselves, like that part I'm really liking so far. The basic gameplay on every island is very much more what you'd expect from Mario and Luigi, in that there's some like puzzles and some enemies to fight. They certainly feel more compact than a typical segment in past Mario and Luigi games, like each island does, which I don't mind at all. Like, to be fair, I'm also at the point where all the puzzles, if you can even call them that, are quite easy. So maybe they seem so compact because they're just really easy. But so far, it does seem like the developers are focusing more on just having fun with the ideas within each island. So they kind of look similar, but they've toyed with each having different themes around like artists or like stage performers or rainforests, and they're just kind of playing around with that. And I've also seen some indications that like the given islands as you go through the game may start introducing different gameplay variety than just, you know, the core Mario and Luigi stuff. Like one of the islands I did, there's a brief rhythm maze game you do, and I saw somewhere that other people were mentioning there's like mazes and heist sequences you do in later islands, so that sounds fun. But yeah, so you go through the island, you reach the lighthouse, you reform the connection back to Shipshape. But then you also, as I was saying, have an opportunity to go back to islands you previously visited now to complete side quests that you can choose to undertake. And kind of like I was saying before, the islands are a bit different now because the connector is flowing and there's these new scenarios afoot. Although a part of me so far is wondering just how different that makes the islands. Like, it's been pretty directly one-to-one from before. They just like add things that make sense for the relevant side quests. Like, it's not like the island suddenly reinvented. It's just like, oh, a path opened up, or you can now destroy this rock and go down this other thing. But it's not like, it's not super major. But there's one other twist here though. When you go back to islands, Shipshape is still moving down the current to the next island. Whenever you go to an island you previously visited, it's almost like a time management task, because in the corner of your screen, taking up a kind of large amount of the screen, is a map showing you Shipshape still chugging along to whatever your next destination will be. Even as you're going through whatever side quest or other task you're doing on this other island, you have to like keep tabs to make sure you don't miss your new island that's in the current that you're riding right now. And so far I don't mind this setup by any means, but I'll admit I haven't figured out why, like the why of this gameplay choice. Like, if the game is about breaking up big RPG features into more bite-sized elements, you know, like how I was saying, each island seems a little smaller than a typical area in past games. Maybe this is designed to speed up the level and item grinding that backtracking normally requires. Like, if you have to get back to the ship in a quick manner, that means when you go grind, you just do it briefly and go back. I don't know. Or maybe like right now it doesn't require much actual like resource balancing or time management. But as the game advances, you need to decide how much you want to grind versus needing to race back to Shipshape. I'm not sure. And if those choices do come later, like I wonder how frustrating it'll become if you miss your new island because you're stuck in the backtrack on some other island. Because one thing about these currents is they are not rapid. It moves pretty slow. So if you miss it, you have to wait a while, it seems. So it's certainly one aspect of the game I'm left more curious about than anything else. Like everything else I'm enjoying. This one I'm just it's just a question mark. I don't really know what to make of it. One other thing that I should probably discuss is the game's new Luigi mechanic, Luigi logic. Every Mario and Luigi has a Luigi mechanic now. So when you're out exploring the world, Luigi's kind of this like semi-autonomous fellow now. Like he's not, you can still have him jump or swing a hammer with a button press, but he's mostly following you around and doing his own thing. You don't ever, at least I haven't yet, come into full control of him. You can just sort of have him do stuff. One of the things you can have him do is if he glows green, if he sees an object or something to interact with, you can kind of send him to go do it, like a one-man Pikmin squad. So you can send him to pluck things for coins or destroy blocks or jump to give him platforms, minor stuff really. And it's fine. Like my initial impression at this point is really just around whether him being more self-controlled will end up nerfing what would otherwise have been more complex puzzles. Because, you know, you used to have to control both brothers and kind of work in tandem. It's not a concern yet. I don't have a concern yet. I'm just kind of thinking ahead, like, well, will him being more of a self-controlled CPU guy end up simplifying and softening things a bit in terms of difficulty? And again, maybe that goes back to a goal they have for the game. I don't really, it's hard to say at this point. But Luigi logic does also exist in battles, and here too, it's also fine. This is it's just the new version of the dream abilities, or turning into a giant mech, or having these other fancy battle augmentations that past Mario and Luigi's have all introduced in their own way. So here, it just lets them be creative with wacky new scenarios in a battle. A turn or two, you might have to do a different real-time button press than you're used to in a different way. An example would be the first boss battle you encounter. At one point, Luigi can basically be grabbed like a baseball and tossed at you, and then you swing your hammer at the right time and like hit a home run into the bad guy. So it's just that sort of thing. Like nothing crazy, but create some fun cinematics that kind of fit the vibe of the game, I guess. And honestly, because I haven't yet gotten to the point of seeing if battle plugs will give more advanced strategies or not, that pretty much sums up what I'd say about the battle system. Like, real-time button presses are still there. Bro moves are still there. It's exactly what you expect. And like, so far, it's more than just... It's more... I feel like at this point, it's more just spending time in battle than it is like about creative strategizing in battle. So I'm curious if battle plugs will change that, because right now it's pretty breezy overall. And that's probably where I land on the experience as a whole so far. It's pretty breezy overall. No ocean pun intended. I'm into how the game is going all in on the theme of connection. I think the sailing mechanic and centralized hub with more like bite-sized islands to visit makes it a little more pick up and play. That's a little, than past Mario and Luigi have been. That's definitely my cup of tea. I'm cool with that. Humor maybe isn't there in the same way as past games, but I really love what Acquire did with the in-game visuals. Like, I love how the art style is a fully realized take on the earlier game's key art. I love that they found a way to just be as expressive as the sprites were in the old games, but now in 3D. The world's super colorful. There's very cartoon-like movement to everything. It's just really charming to interact with and watch. It has a ton of personality. But it's pretty breezy, like I was saying. And I'm cool with that, but I'm curious if the breeziness can still give space for like real variety in what's supposed to be a very long game, or if with so many islands to discover and side quests to backtrack to, if things are going to start to like blur and get more monotonous. Like, I know reviews from big publications have been pretty mixed. So I'm curious where I myself will fall on the, I guess, spectrum of Brothership as I play more. If nothing else, though, I do appreciate this is a new studio. They're honoring the ideas that work in the series up to this point, but they're also introducing their own kind of spin on it. That's cool. I'm excited to see where that goes. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Brothership right now. It's a lot of like, okay, and seeing where it goes. But I'm enjoying all my okay so far. So that's a good sign, I would say.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Is this the last Nintendo release of the year?
It is, and they did it 2 weeks earlier than their favorite time of year, unless you count all the Donkey Kong lands they keep dumping on Switch Online unceremoniously. They're doing like one every 3 days now. So, but yeah, this is the last real release, quote unquote.
Isn't that just 3 Donkey Kong Country games?
It's Land in this case. So I don't even know if it gets to 3, but they did Land 1 from the Game Boy a few days ago, and then they just did Land 2 today. So maybe they'll surprise us and do another Land. But yeah, no, this is the last like serious release. Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
I want to talk really quick about Blue Lock. Do you guys remember what Blue Lock is?
The soccer Squid Game anime that wasn't actually a Squid Game as its first episode made it seem.
Boom, you got it.
Yeah,
right,
do I get a prize?
Right on the button.
Not to be confused with Blue Box, which I saw the other day,
correct.
And I was like, this isn't Blue Lock? I was confused.
Blue Box is completely different, yep.
Wait, there's something called Blue Box that's not Blue Lock, but
yeah, it's another sports. It's like a sports romance anime.
So
Angel,
not
you
too
probably
far
would really
removed.
enjoy Blue Box. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure you would enjoy it.
And does Blue
I think I
Block
saw a
have a
thumbnail.
relation to Boom Blocks, the old Wii game by Steven Spielberg?
By Steven Spielberg? No, not that I know of.
Okay. Just thought I'd throw that out there for anyone who remembers Boom Blocks from like 2007.
Yeah. So Blue Lock.
Nintendo made a big deal out of it. It's kind of hard to forget. Domino People or something.
It had a sequel, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did get a sequel, and that thing bombed hard, but the first one did quite well, yeah.
It bombed hard.
Because in the game, I didn't even think of that pun. You know, the pretty breezy pun I was saying to Mario and Luigi, I had in the back of my mind, and I was just like waiting. But the bomb hard one was completely off the cuff, so you're welcome. Yes.
Yeah, it's like when I said like a different breed for cats, like it just comes out.
Why did it bomb?
Cat does not have our tongues. Anyway, yeah.
Why did Boomblocks 2 bomb?
It was in that weird window of the Wii's life where all the casual folks stopped caring. And the game did really well initially with like the broader audience, like the Blue Ocean. And then there's that period at like 2010, 2011, 2009, where suddenly the bottom just fell out from the Wii. And like all the casual folk just stuck to Wii bowling in their senior retirement homes, and that was it. And you know, they went bigger and hoped to do better, and just the audience was not there anymore. It's the same reason I think the Wii fizzled. Like the Wii was on a Switch trajectory, and then it just stopped one day. So it's like, yeah, I think it was caught up in that stoppage.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, unrelated to Boom Blocks is Blue Lock.
Yes.
As Jason stated, the Soccer Squid Games Battle Royale anime that didn't end up really being a sort of Squid Games. This year returned for its second season. So 2 years removed. Well, yeah, it was 2 years, right? Because when did we do our anime?
We did our anime thing like 2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago, yeah.
So
2 years.
That was 2 years ago? Man, I keep thinking that was like a year ago in my head. Oh my god.
No, dude, as we get older,
I thought it was earlier this year.
Time sucks.
There's no way
we get older, nothing is old anymore. It's all recent, even if it isn't.
Yeah, so 2 years removed from that first season, Blue Lock returned for its second season, subtitled Versus Japan Under 20. The basic premise for this season is that out of the 40 remaining entrants in Blue Lock, and Blue Lock being this like we said, it's sort of like a soccer battle royale where a bunch of Japan's young players are essentially striving to become the best striker in all of Japan. So this season, it's the 40 or so remaining entrants. 11 of them will be chosen to play against Japan's under 20 national team. So basically, not Japan's best, not Japan's national team that plays in the FIFA World Cup or anything, but they're under 20 team. Essentially, players that will eventually age out of the under 20 and possibly join Japan's national team, the best of the best in Japan.
So Little League, kind of, sort of. Or college league. NCAA.
Yeah, think of it like that. Yeah, they're like the varsity team versus the national team, you know?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And so for Blue Lock to actually continue, for it to continue to get funding, they'll have to win against the U20 team. If they lose, Blue Lock essentially gets shut down. So for the first couple of episodes, it's your standard Blue Lock stuff that would happen at the end of the last season, where it wasn't a lot of challenges. It was just, all right, players are being put into teams, and based on their performance, will dictate whether they get to be part in what's called the Blue Lock 11, right? The starting 11 for this match versus the Japan under 20. So just that as a premise, I thought is really, really hype. And I'm not a soccer fan at all. You guys know me. But I really, really enjoyed that first season of Blue Lock. And like I said, it wasn't the soccer Squid Games that I thought it was going to be.
That any of us thought it would be.
yeah. It sort of turned into not a standard sports anime, because a lot of sports anime are about the power of friendship, where in Blue Lock it's all about being selfish. But I like the characters and I like the premise enough to keep watching it. And then I watched the first episode of season 2, and we were given the warnings in the trailers of, they aren't really showing us a lot of movement. And by that I mean there is basically little to no animation in this season. It's basically a slideshow. It's basically just the manga being colored. Budget. So I'll
side note, if you didn't hear that in the background, that was one of my cats who just let out a really sad meow right when you said it's a slideshow. So I imagine she is not a fan of that choice either.
That's a little surprising, considering I feel they got a ton of marketing in Anime Expo, and I feel like I saw a lot of billboards for Blue Lock when in Japan. So that's would be so tight.
That is one of the biggest question marks. And I'll get to that right now, but it's I thought to myself, okay, the animation or lack of thereof is a really rough, but the art for this season looks really good. Like the character models look better than they did last season. Like they're just a little bit more bolder. But for like those matches, for like especially these first matches, I'm like, yeah, it's basically just like clip art like moving across the screen. Oh, and there's this really bad scene so where weird. They used a cap cut transition. Like cap cut the
they don't.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Mm-hmm. They use a cap cut transition. And it's like, man, this is rough. But you know what? Maybe they're saving the budget, the animation, for the under 20 match, right? Because that is the centerpiece of the season. And then we get to the first couple of episodes of the under 20 match, and it looks just as bad as those matches at the start of the half of the season. And here's where like the production woes or like the production part of this season like comes into question. So the studio behind Blue Lock, they're called 8-Bit. And you know, Blue Lock wasn't a stunner of a show. Like it's nowhere near like one of the best animated animes of all time. Like it's not like Demon Slayer, right? But it was serviceable enough, right? They used like CG here and there, and it was very noticeable, but it was like, you know, I'm still watching a soccer game, even though if it's a little bit slower than like a real life soccer game. But you're still watching a soccer game. So after season 1, they released a Blue Lock movie that focused on a supporting character. And it was actually based off like I think it was like a 2-volume manga based on like following this character. His name is Nagi. And so they released a movie based on that. And that movie looks great, but it was also completely like unnecessary. And it definitely felt like a cash grab, but it still looked good. Where now it feels like for whatever reason, this second season of this highly anticipated anime feels more like the cash grab because they aren't really doing anything to animate any of it. It's like the under 20 match should have been the thing to get the movie treatment because there are some really cool moments in it that just aren't getting the animation that it deserves. Because like I read past the anime, I read the manga, and man, there are so many cool moments in it that would probably look good, like if it was adapted properly. And like you said,
who at 8-Bit's embezzling money, and how much did they embezzle from the budget?
Who knows? And you know they must be embezzling millions because Blue Lock was the best-selling manga of 2023. It beat out One Piece, which One Piece is huge in Japan. It beat out Jujutsu Kaisen, which is also huge. My Hero Academia, which is ending. Huh?
Isn't Boruto still popular?
No, Boruto like crashed out hard.
Oh man!
But like I said, Blue Lock is the best-selling manga of 2023, and it's getting one of the cheapest adaptations that you've ever seen in your entire life. Some stories have come out of for whatever reason there's only like one person that is animating like cuts. Cuts are basically like, how do you know what an anime cut is, Angel? Maybe you can explain a little bit better than me.
Fortunately not. I'm sure if someone told me like, oh, that's just this in traditional animation, I'd be like, oh.
If I'm not mistaken, a cut is essentially basically like a scene in anime, but not necessarily a scene, right? It's like if you think about a scene in a movie, you're thinking about like a bunch of like camera movements and like whatever. A cut is more like these two characters are talking in the same frame, and then boom, we cut to another angle of the same like dialogue that they're having, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of like different cells, I guess.
Yeah, I always knew those as shots. Well, I guess, but yeah, they're the same thing. I know what you mean. Like, if you have one scene that could have multiple cuts in it, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. So it was like this one guy spoke out and was like, yeah, I did like 30 cuts on my own for like this one episode, and I had no time to do it, and I did it for like minimum wage, and this was the best that I could do. So like with that in mind, sure, the anime looks fine.
But like that shouldn't be the scenario.
But that shouldn't be the scenario when you are adapting the best-selling manga of 2023, coming That's right wild. Out of the World Cup. It's so weird. What like funnily enough, and it is like a complete coincidence. But the episode before
context matters. Yeah, like I'm not to interrupt, but like. I'm not one to really like nitpick too much about like, you know, when an anime gets very, what is called like slideshowy for lack of a better term. Mm-hmm. But for something like this, like, yeah, it's just more baffling than anything. Because I've seen, I don't know if you've ever watched, it's the show on Netflix, anime on Netflix called The Way of the House Husband. It's like a comedy of mafia.
You talked about it. You talked about it on here.
Yeah. But that one, like, if you look at the budget, I don't know. If you look at that and then you can... No, I'm sure the Blue Lock still looks more dynamic. And now I'm curious because I haven't seen Blue Lock since that first episode, which I don't remember having this problem. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like for that one, you know, it's intentionally a very, very tiny budget. Like it's almost...
Sure.
Like they're just... yeah. But damn, that's interesting.
But yeah, like I said, this is the best-selling manga of 2023, and it's not getting the proper adaptation it deserves. What is funny is the movie. It was called Episode Nagi, and Nagi is, like I said, he's one of the biggest supporting characters, I guess, of the show. He is my favorite character of the show too, and so when he got the movie, I was like, all right, cool. It's a movie about Nagi, unnecessary, but I like Nagi, so I'll watch it. The episode right before the newest episode, so last week's episode, has an amazing scene in which Nagi makes a goal that is animated better than anything from season 1 or season 2. And it's really funny where like the comments on the Crunchyroll clip on YouTube, all the comments are like, well, I guess we know who the studio's favorite character is because Nagi is the one that got the movie and the only good-looking scene in the entire season. Which, like I said, is fine with me because Nagi's my favorite character. He's my goat. And like, yeah, it's really, really baffling, like why they would do this. I wonder. I have to imagine that the production of the movie did something to the production schedule for this season, or Namco Bandai. Wait, Bandai Namco? What is it now? It's Bandai Namco. Yeah. Bandai Namco, who owns the production studio. I wonder if they were like, "Hey, this cash cow that of a series that we have, let's keep making as much money as we can on it because we know that people are going to tune into this." And I'm willing to bet that has something to do with it more.
That sucks,
because the anime industry is
like,
crazy.
To cash into that extent, to like turn into a slideshow, that's rough. That's only gonna hurt them down the line.
Yeah, like I said, there is a Capcom transition in there.
Yeah,
and it's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. At the very, very least, I decided to read the manga, and the manga's great. Like the arc, right? I just got to the arc right after the end of this. After the end of this arc, the U20. Spoiler alert: Blue Lock won. Because they have to, or else the series is over. But that arc is super, super cool, and it's like
just saw the kick. It's pretty cool.
Oh, the Nagi kick. Yep, that's the best. That's the best that it's looked. And if you look at everything before apparently. That, is it? Don't you see like the how? It's sort of
yeah. It was. It's definitely kind of jarring, just like seeing that back to back in the same scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then just like you said, this is literally the first comment. Nagi just stole 90% of the studio's budget with that kick, along with this movie.
Yep.
Wait, was that comment before or after season 2 came out? Did someone predict that, or was that reaction?
No. That's just a reaction to the clip. Here, I'll message you. You could watch it whenever.
Yeah. The episode probably aired, and then they posted this clip after the fact.
So someone's Nostradamus in the comments, if I've ever.
No. They this was posted after the movie.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
And and after the episode aired. at the very least, the manga's great. I would say I can't wait for the season to be adapted, but clearly, if they're not going to improve on this, like, I have no anticipation.
Rough. Not to interrupt you, sorry, but like I'm watching it, and I mean, literally, it looks like they're just moving layers on top of one another.
Oh
like,
yeah, yep,
yeah.
And the first season, what happened?
Although the kick, yeah.
Oh, the kick's fantastic.
Yeah, the kick's that's solid, but the rest is.
But everything else is really really bad.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunately the rest of the season. The very last goal that's scored in this arc will probably get the same, I guess, justice that this shot did. But yeah, like the manga's great, and this season's opening is another goddamn banger that is now, of course, part of my playlist. But yeah, that's Blue Lock. It's really sad, really unfortunate.
Yeah, that I feel bad for that guy that had to do it all by himself.
Like, yeah, I mean, kudos to that guy. Like sorry, homie, that you're sort of getting shit on, for lack of a better word, because like it's absolutely not his fault. You know, the animators are doing the best that they can with the amount of time and money that they're given. So
yeah. It's more against management and how they manage this than anything else. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Blue Lock. Onto something a little bit more. How do I put this? I don't know how to put this exactly.
Are you about to talk about what I think you're about to talk about?
The third Pokemon? Thing under the games docket.
Is there a monster in your pocket?
Yep.
So
you know it.
If you thought Kevin was fired up about Blue Lock, just wait until Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket Impressions Part 2. You heard me last time. Now it's Kevin's turn.
Oh man. Pokemon TCG Pocket. I'm just going to call it Pocket from here on.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I was calling it Pocket last episode too. Yeah. But it's interesting because I came in from a very I'm just collecting the cards for fun, and you're definitely going to be coming in with more of a gameplay mindset, I suspect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just want to start off with a positive, and this is not going to take too long. No, I'm kidding.
I almost choked on my water when you said that.
I'm kidding.
I know.
Starting off with the positive, the card battling, pretty fun. As like Jason stated, this is a simplified version of the Pokemon TCG, which I am probably never going to touch with 20-foot pole. So having something this like bite-sized is really, really fun. Like Jason stated, it only takes 3 Pokemon to knock out versus the 7 in the full game?
6, I believe. Yeah.
6? Okay. And then EX cards get you 2, it essentially acts as a 2 Pokemon knockout. And it's gotten to the point where like I'm like, damn, I kind of wish that it was still 4 to 6 knockouts, because for like as simple as the gameplay is, it can still get pretty tactical, where you have to plan several moves, several turns in advance, like having to take in the Pokemon's weakness into account, the trainer cards into consideration, that kind of stuff, right? So, you guys know me, I'm the Marvel Snap player here, and like battles have typically lasted just as long as a Snap battle, especially against other like real world players. I do pretty really good to hear. Yeah, I do really like that. Battling, you could also battle the AI, and some of the events are even tied to just AI
I like
battling.
That a lot. That's how I meant battling more. Yeah,
and then it's really really cool how the game will give you decks to play with that you don't own, but it's like, hey, here's a water deck to wet your whistle, and here's a ground fighting deck that you should try out. And it kind of sucks that some decks you can only use for like 10 times. Like I think I unlocked a Brock deck that I can only use 10 times. And it's like, oh, that's kind of lame. But like aside from that, I was finally able to make a pretty viable deck. It's essentially a Marowak EX deck. That, like I said, is viable, but it's not the meta. But it is able to take down some of the meta decks. Like I've been able to take down a few of the Mewtwo EX and Pikachu EX decks that are out there. Because it's just nothing but RNG. And quite frankly, it's the only viable deck that I'm able to do with my cards. And we'll get to that BS later.
Side note about Mewtwo EX, I got my first one today, a few hours ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like I only opened the Mewtwo version of this expansion, Genetic Apex, and I have yet to get a Mewtwo EX. And I need two for that deck.
Yeah, I just got one. When they open up the trading feature down the line, I can maybe pass it to you. But yeah, I just have the one.
Yeah, so, I'll trade you.
I also got 500 cards today. So
yeah, I also got 500 cards today. More on that BS later.
Sorry, didn't mean to interject, but continue.
No. That Misty Articuno deck is
the Misty
bullshit.
Decks are
it's bullshit.
The Misty decks are,
that deck is so hard to beat. I think I've beaten it once out of the 6 to like 8 times that I've come across it. So Angel, basically what this Misty card is, do you remember any of these cards from when you played the TCG?
I never played the TCG.
Perfect. So this Misty card, essentially you choose one of your water Pokemon that you have out on the field, and then you flip a coin, and you flip this coin until you get tails. And then for every heads that you get, you add 1 energy to whatever Pokemon that you chose. So there are some instances where the other player will flip 3 or 4 heads before hitting tails, add it to their Articuno EX card that they played in turn 1, and then just destroy me before I'm able to set up any of my cards. Obviously, there are the other times where immediately they'll flip tails and I don't have to worry about anything. But more
than adding 1 energy already, is the power level of adding an additional energy already strong enough on its own, or do they need to at least hit 2 for it to go from all right, this is bad to I just lost?
So Articuno EX I think has 2 moves. One move that only needs 2 energy. That does 50 damage, which isn't a lot. And then their secondary does 80 damage for 4 energy. And not only does that do 80 damage to your active Pokemon, but it'll do 10 damage to the rest of the Pokemon on the field. Oh. So, yeah. And some of my Pokemon on my deck are only 30 HP before I evolve it. And so if I don't get rid of that Articuno within a couple of turns, I'm pretty much destroyed. And so that Misty card in particular got me thinking about, will this game get patches to balance the cards out and to balance anything out?
That's a good question.
My hope is that it will, because the game is already built different from the regular TCG. But I feel like there's still enough similarities between both that I can see the devs not wanting to try and rock the boat. Which is concerning as well.
It's true that it's not on the roadmap. So they put out actually the day our last episode went live, where we were discussing, well, when's the next expansion going to come? I've heard January, but that's not official. They put out a statement there January. But they gave kind of a little hint of we're going to have trading coming soon. We're going to have all the stuff coming soon. I don't recall a single mention about balancing. Not that they necessarily would call it out, but the fact that they didn't call it out in light of this conversation has got me thinking maybe it's not going to happen.
And that's very, very worrying, because this is, for all intents, this is a live service game,
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't balance your live service game, I don't know how you encourage people to keep going when there's BS somewhere out there,
Yeah. Yeah, then you're stuck in a situation like, and hear me out, Mario Kart DS, where either you know how to snake and you play online and you do well, or you don't know how to snake and you lose everything forever and always.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm digging about this game. Now, on to what I'm not feeling. Right now, the events are very underwhelming. Like right now, as we speak, there are 2 events. The PvP event, where the more games you win, the better an emblem you'll receive to add to your profile that people will see once if they click on you, if they're on your friends list, or as soon as you get into a match. And that's pretty much it. It's just an emblem. Like, no booster packs, no hourglasses, no tickets, just an emblem.
Yeah.
So that's pretty whack.
It's not a big motivator in and of itself.
Correct.
Unless you really are bought into the God catch-em-all mindset of collecting every little itty-bitty thing. Yeah.
And we'll get to that collecting. The other event is still better, but it's still meh. It's the
fire
Wonder Pick event.
Yeah.
And like I said, that one's fine. It's a Wonder Pick event. You have 2 free bonus picks a day. One where you'll receive a guaranteed fire Pokemon, and the other, which is just like a Wonder Pick with like some hourglasses and some other freebies in there. And like it's fine, especially for the fact that they're free and you don't have to waste Wonder Hearts or whatever the hell they're called.
Wonder hourglasses, I believe.
No,
everything's an hourglass.
The actual.
Oh, the stamina for the Wonder Pick. Yeah.
The Wonder Stamina. There we go.
Yeah,
the Wonder Stamina, which takes forever to reload.
That one is like half the speed of the hourglasses. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that one's fine. I was able to get the Arcanine EX out of it.
I got a Charizard through it. That's it so far. In terms of I just got a Growlithe, but yeah, this conversation reminded me to go through it again. I just got a Growlithe, but
the Arcanine EX is weirdly enough tied to one of the missions for the events, where you have to get the Arcanine EX to complete the entire event's missions, which is weird, but whatever. The best event that I've played so far was the Lapras event, which was a solo battling event. I don't know if you did that one, Angel or Jason.
I did get. I must have, because I have a Lapras now. Yes, I did. I didn't do the whole. I don't think I did all of them, but yeah, I really appreciated that they did open up an event for folks who just want to like kind of go at their own pace and not have to worry about if they're how good or bad they are compared to people online, or if they're facing a Misty deck or anything like that. Like, it was nice to just have it, and
especially like
siloed.
going into there, you knew that the cards that you were facing.
Yep.
And mainly it's like, all right, we'll tend to build an electric deck because I know that I'm going to get a guarantee 20 plus every single
play
time
around with the rental decks. That was another good way to do it. Yeah. I really like the rental deck system. I know you touched on it before, but like, you keep unlocking new decks as you get different cards and stuff. It's kind of a cool little like secondary reward if you get a really cool card. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my thoughts on events right now. PvP, so going up against other players, right now does not feel rewarding enough. So for instance, winning a game will net you 15 experience points towards your player level, which I'm currently at level 14, and to level up to level 15, I need 480 points. So that equates to roughly 30 wins, which can be a lot. You
also get points if you open stuff, though, I believe.
What do you mean?
Because I'm at level 13, and I haven't played a whole lot of battles.
Right. There's a bunch of ways that you can get EXP, but like right now, just getting 15 experience points per win, it's like
it's light. Yeah.
It's very slight in the grand scheme of things. Like I'm hoping in the future they add some items that will like let you double your XP for like the next hour, or I'm hoping that in the future they'll hold like double XP weekends the way that Call of Duty would. Or like I hope that in the future they add something so that it's like every like 10 to 12 wins, 15 wins, what have you. Hey, here's a free pack, especially because once they start adding more cards to the game, like you said in January, the card acquisition in this game is going to get worse. Which brings me to the next point.
Before you get there, real fast, just about because you're talking about like the events being kind of ho-hum. And your idea of like expanding XP growth, I was surprised that the events are so siloed. Like, I appreciate that there's a Lapras event if you want to just do the solo mode, but something like the fire event, it would have been perfect. Like, you have fire wonder picks. You can be on fire, win 3 in a row, and we'll double your XP if you for the next 2 matches or something. Like, it just felt like a weird missed opportunity to not like bridge the different aspects of this app under one event umbrella. They're kind of like, now you're doing this in Wonder Pick, now you're doing this in solo, now you're doing so. Yeah, it'd be really cool to see, like you were saying at the experience weekend, if they tie in some of the Wonder Pick and things like that into one overarching event, which I imagine they'll do down the line. But right now, it's they're very just starting, much like this screen is for this mode and these bonuses and this event. Over here is this other mode and these bonuses and this event, and it's just like, okay, like it is one app. It just doesn't sometimes feel like it in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, carry on.
On to my biggest gripe.
Yep.
And what everybody here is waiting for me to talk about.
With bated breath.
Card acquisition in this game is fucking atrocious.
There it is. Talk about a fire event, am I right?
To start off with, even before I get into the card acquisition part of this part, can you please give us the option to skip all the BS revolving around opening up a card pack? I need this game to let me skip some of this stuff. Angel, here's how it goes, all right? You're in the main menu.
Bring it on.
You choose to open a pack, right? Then you click to open the pack that you want. Currently, right now, there are 3 packs to choose from: the Charizard, the Mewtwo pack, or the Pikachu pack, right? So you click on the one that you want. Then you get a little splash screen that says it's booster pack opening time, which Jason probably loves every single time that it shows up.
Okay? 1,000%.
From there, you can then choose from a carousel of packs, right? You choose your pack.
Jason did show me that.
Yep, you choose your pack. And there's no way to get around this. You have to swipe open to open the pack,
which I also love.
Which Jason also loves. It was neat for the first goddamn 5 times, Jason. Okay, it was neat those first 5 times. I'm getting tired of it.
5. Okay? Try 500. Actually, I have no idea how many I've opened.
Okay,
but man.
Then
listen, I get joy out of plucking the Pikmin and Pikmin Bloom to this day. It's a similar gesture, a similar haptic. So yeah, I'll just happily move my finger in weird directions for Nintendo. Don't take that out of context. I don't know what that would mean.
After that, after you swipe to open, you look at the 5 cards that you just received one at a time. Okay? From there, the cards get added. You go to another screen where these cards get added to your overall card count, right? After that, the game asks you to swipe up to add to your Pokedex. Okay? So you can swipe up or you can hit skip.
Why is that a different motion?
I don't fucking know, Angel. Why is it a different motion, Jason?
Shouldn't it do it all at once when they get added to your collection?
This part I'm with you on,
Kevin. That would make too much sense, Angel. Finally, those cards get added to your deck on a different screen.
Oh my god. I thought the last part was the last part.
Nope. All of this, Jason, tell me if this all can't be done in 3 goddamn screens.
Yes,
Click
it
to
can.
Open your pack, send me to the pack opening screen, let me open the pack, show me the 5 cards on one screen, add it to my decks, and be done with it. Remove the carousel because at this time, we don't even know if it matters what fucking pack you choose. The devs won't tell us, and then data mining suggests that it doesn't matter, okay? Remove the force to swipe to open. Let me just touch the pack to open it. Give me the ability to see all cards at one screen. Hold on. I said, give me the option. Give me the option.
Okay.
Let me touch open the pack. Give me the ability to see all cards on one screen instead of going one by one. For the love of God, remove the swipe to add to your Pokedex screen and just combine the total card screen and the Pokedex screen into one. Give me the option to opt out of all this bullshit because it's really goddamn annoying 10 hours into the game.
To borrow a terminology of Gen Z, it's giving the Super Mario Party star confirmation screens. You know what I'm talking about? Like it's Super Mario Party where it's like, you got a star. By the way, you got a star. It's over here in your menu. You got a star. Hey, did you know you just got a star? Like it's very redundant in a very similar way. Yeah, it's not. I love the swipe. Everything else they can combine into one screen. I completely agree.
Yeah. Like I said, give me the option to do it. Don't remove it entirely because there's sickos out there like Jason who love to swipe open the packs.
And boy, am I a sicko for swiping open booster packs, let me tell you.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Now onto the actual card acquisition. I'm about, according to screen time, it looks like I've been playing this for like 8 hours. And as far as this first expansion pack, Genetic Apex, which, man, they couldn't be lazier with the font that they chose for the font on the packs. It looks like just Arial with highlighted edges.
I'm opening this back up because I'm someone that's very like, oh, they're using Comic Sans. Like, I noticed fonts. This did not jump out at me. Okay, I see it. Yeah, I think because it has
very boring.
It does have that. You're talking about on the pack itself, right?
Yes, on the pack itself. Yeah,
like the Genetic Apex writing.
Yeah.
It does have that thing that the Pokemon company loves to do with logos, where it's text that then has like 3 layers of stuff on top of it, like a drop shadow, a contour, a border, a drop shadow behind that border. Like there's a video for new Pokemon Snaps logo that went viral back when that came out of like, let's make a logo. And it's like 7 layers of basically just Photoshop filter effects. So it does have that. But yeah, if you dwindle it down, it is just Arial. It looks like.
Yeah, especially like it can like once you see the type the face type or typeface on remember what it is, but on the like the actual like TCG, where like some of these things have like really cool logos and just man, that Genetic Apex thing is not it.
Genetic Apex, more like generic Apex.
That too. It's a very weird like first expansion pack title, but also very much in line with some of the stuff that they put on TCG.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm about 8-9 hours into the game, and out of this first expansion, I'm at 135 out of 226 cards, so just a little over a half, which is not bad. But man, there will be times where I go multiple packs without getting a single goddamn new card.
Or multiple of the same.
This game is a gacha game. And if you think otherwise, you are dead wrong.
I've yet to spend a penny, by the way.
I've yet to spend a penny too. What I think the devs should take a page out of other gacha games is to add a sort of pity system where like after 2 or 3 packs where you get nothing new, like this next pack, your 3rd or 4th pack, you're guaranteed at least 1 new card. Because I've gotten multiple packs without getting anything new, and it's frustrating as hell. Like I texted you guys, I opened up 10 packs, and out of 50 cards, I got 6 new cards, which were actually really 3 new cards, because 3 were cards that I never had before, and the other 3 were variants of cards that I already did have. So like I do hope that they improve this in the future, because especially when they add this next expansion, I'm going to be worried about falling behind already. And
yeah, like
sure, you get pack points for every single pack that you open, but you only get 5. And Angel, I don't know, did you talk about this, Jason, last time? I think you did, right?
The about pack points? That you get 5 the pack points? Yeah, that you can use those to get specific cards. Yeah.
Yeah. So in theory, really cool. The cheapest card that you can buy is 35 points. So that's 7 packs that you got to open. The most expensive card is 500 points. So you do the math on how much that you would need, how many packs you would need to open to get a single card.
And to give you a sense of just measurement here, I've been opening my packs diligently 2 a day since launch, 450 points. I couldn't even get the highest price card. And I've not bought a single card with pack points yet. Maybe I bought like 1, but nonetheless, it's been weeks. It's been almost a month. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, that's card acquisition is terrible. Another like minor nitpick that I have is the flare stuff, which Jason, I don't know how you feel about the flare.
I initially thought it at surface level it was kind of like how you can level up cards in Marvel Snap. But I'm starting to think it's actually not that. Walk me through what flare actually like. What do you think of flare? Maybe that'll better inform my opinion.
I think it's lame as hell.
So, well, exactly, because it's not like Marvel Snap where you upgrade the card, is it? Which I initially thought it was.
Well, in Marvel Snap, you're not upgrading the card; you're just upgrading the effects of the card.
Yeah, the art, the like visual pizzazz.
Right. like the visual pizzazz that you add here is really, really lame. Like, cool, you can make your card sparkle.
Okay. Yeah.
You can make your card sparkle. But then, like, each card has 4 different types of flair that you can add, but you have to unlock them in succession. You can't just choose the flair that you want. And then there's also this weird, like, arbitrary limiter on flaring your cards. Because you need to add a flair to a card, you need 3 duplicates of a card to be able to flare it. But you also need to have at least 2 duplicates left over once you do flare a card. So to flare a card for the first time, you need 5 duplicates of it.
Wait, why do you need leftovers?
I don't know.
Are they?
I don't know, Jason. Let's ask
so
the devs.
many questions we have this episode about everything.
Like, all that being said, I'm enjoying the game because I do enjoy the combat. But like, if I can't make another viable deck soon, at least before this next expansion drops, I'm gonna have a really hard time staying with it. Especially because I don't want this to be another Marvel Snap where I'm throwing hundreds of dollars into the game. I like want this to be a purely free to play experience for myself. And man, it's really tempting, like going into the gold shop and seeing, man, there's discounts on gold right now, so that I can buy some more packs. You know. Yeah, like right now,
you're fiending for some packs. Yeah,
I'm fiending for some packs. Like I think I'm due to open a pack in about 20 minutes right now. So, yeah,
have you
that's,
been
my
diligent with the timing? Like the second you get the push notification to open a pack, have you jumped in?
I have push notifications enabled. I do not get the notifications at all.
Really? Even if I'm enabled? Because I get an alert every time I'm able to open a pack, and I'm usually pretty good about doing it within a few minutes, but sometimes it's like 2 hours later, and I'm like, oh no, that's 2 hours. No. I could have been closer to the next pack. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That's weird. You
I don't. It's, yeah, really, really, really strange. Let me see. Mission details. Oh, yeah, I forget. This game resets at 10 p.m. every day.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. And then, like, I don't do any of the social stuff. Like, I don't do any of the binders. I don't do any of the,
I haven't dabbled much in that yet.
What's the other thing?
The binders and the display cases and
display cases. Yeah. I don't dabble in any of that stuff. It's cool for, you know, people like Jason who want to collect stuff and, you know, show off their collection and stuff like that, but just not for me.
I'm just waiting for Bidoof to get added to the game, and then I'm going to make the most beautiful Bidoof display case and the most beautiful Bidoof binder where it's just pages of Bidoofs, and then I'll retire from the game. Kind of why I did Pokemon Go. I played it up to Bidoof, and I'm like, I'm good. Thank you.
So we'll see how far I go with this game.
That was the other side of the coin from my collector perspective last episode, 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say the flare thing, they set themselves up for failure there, kind of, because they did all the cool effects that you can upgrade into with Marvel Snap. So flare is what I thought it was. First of all, I'm glad I wasn't crazy. But they made all those just things you get with different types of cards. Like some cards you can peek, some cards you can tilt. So the flare, like, they had to, like, come up with some other visual pizzazz, and I guess they just couldn't if it's just sparkly, you know?
Yeah, because, like, some cards, like, you can add, like, fire, like, little fire effects. They're not even effects. They're literally just like stickers. Sparkles. Yeah, almost like stickers. Yeah. It's not like Snap where like a basic card that you have will then become like 3D animated and stuff like that. Yeah, because they already have cards that are 3D animated.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly what I'm saying is they kind of like got ahead of their own flare system by making like the Pikachu card that you can go fully into or things like that. Like it's interesting that they're trying to play it both ways almost.
That Pikachu card took me by surprise, by the way. I got it, and I was like, what the hell is going on right now? How do I get out of this?
Yeah, I think I said this last time, but if not, I was surprised it's like a full 10-second cinematic. I thought it was going to be like you peek around the corners, you Pikachu around the corners, and you see like just a little more of the art. I didn't think it was going to be like a full video, like a full.
So that did it for this
motion
episode of Random Nintendo. Just that took it out of me.
The Pikachu?
Yeah.
Oh,
Pikachu around the corner. Jesus Christ.
I mean, we've had some pretty bad / bad puns this episode, I'd say, and a lot of puns and questions. Really.
Yeah. On to our last Topic? Is that what we call these? What do we call these?
Sure, conversation piece. Yeah,
conversation piece.
I think topic is what we call it. Yeah.
On to our last conversation piece of the week. Our yearly, and it's wild. We've been doing this for 5 years now. When did we start? Quarantine Chronicles.
2020, I believe.
2020. So COVID. 4 years. So 4 years.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for 4 years. Game Award nominations are out, so we are going to pick our winners and who we want to win, as we do every year. So I've already gotten ahead of this. Currently, we have 1, 2. Maybe I didn't get it ahead enough. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 categories that we will discuss for a little bit. We're not doing the whole. I think they did like 25 categories. Like there's some things that we are just not knowledgeable enough on.
We're not doing
like best esports team, not streamer of the year, no that stuff.
No.
Because we barely played. We played maybe a fourth of the titles that have been nominated.
That's generous.
Exactly.
Yeah,
altogether, we probably played like a fourth.
Yeah,
maybe a
okay.
fifth.
I'm pretty sure I contributed to maybe one game. I think this year in particular, at least compared to last year, I've maybe played half as many new games on my own, and half of those were games that came out a year ago, which you'll definitely hear about when we do our quarantines, because it's a new experience for us, so that would get like my game of the year.
Yeah.
But as far as like stuff on this list, oof, yeah.
But we're at least knowledgeable enough on each of these categories to talk a little bit about them.
And we follow the industry, so
Yeah.
Like, did you know Sony's making a new PlayStation handle? Because we know. We heard it yesterday. I heard it yesterday. Anyway.
That's what Angel's been working on this entire time. Okay. Let's get to our first category. Let's get into our first category. Most anticipated. The nominees are Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, GTA 6, Metro Prime 4, and Monster Hunter Wilds. So whenever we do these nominations, we have two categories. Or not two categories, but we have two
picks per person.
2 picks, I guess, of who do you want to win and who you think will win.
Yeah, this is a pretty easy one.
Yeah,
this is a slam dunk.
Yeah, I would say. Wait, were we going to third in order, or did we just jump in?
We jump in? Be my guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's just going to be the same for Jason, maybe. But, I mean, I want Metroid Prime 4 to win. At least that's my most anticipated game.
Yeah.
I am not necessarily looking forward to any of the other ones. But I feel like Grand Theft Auto 6 is just going to get it because it's Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
It just has too much. Like, it's too big of a franchise for it not to be the one that everyone's like most into. I mean, just look at the hullabaloo that came about from the leaked trailer. That was a thing that happened, right? Was that this year?
From the leak that happened like 2 years ago?
Oh, gee, that was 2 years ago?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. 6. Hold on. Let me see when the leak happened. Hold on. Let me see.
I think it was last summer. Like summer 23.
That was
in 2022. Jason Schreier, the game entered development in 2014, would feature 2 Bonnie and Clyde inspired protagonists.
Wait, is that when the footage came out? Or was that the next summer?
Let me see.
Because the Bonnie and Clyde thing I remember hearing before the footage came out.
Yeah, I'm talking about the footage. Like
I was thinking the footage as well.
September 2022 leak. Yep.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Ew.
So over 2 years ago.
Ew. We're old.
Well, and yet, yeah. So that's what I feel is going to win.
Those are my.
I don't remember what the other nominees were at this point.
They don't matter.
Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Metro Prime 4, and Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah, I mean, people are excited for Monster Hunter Wilds, but that still feels like niche even by.
Monster Hunter is massive now, but it's not Grand Theft Auto.
No, it is. Yeah, but it's not Grand Theft Auto.
GTA 6.
Yeah, and especially Death Stranding, like compared to that. Like, I mean, yeah, like that has allure and intrigue, but it's not like the grandmasters. You have people that, on their day-to-day will maybe not even think about video games, but will play a Grand
Theft Auto. Yeah. And Grand Theft
Auto. Whereas, Death Stranding is like the weird anime that would turn someone off of anime if that's the first thing you introduce them into. You got to ease them into it. Like, you know, like start them with some normal stuff. Start them with Grand Theft Auto. Slowly work them towards Death Stranding, and then by the time they get to Death Stranding, they're like really into like everything at that point. But
yeah, I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5 was a massive moment in just entertainment in general, and only since then has it gotten insanely bigger because GTA Online, which spun out of that, is like, or GTA 5 because of online or something, it's like 80 million copies sold. It's like crazy. Like 6 is gonna be the thing of the year probably in terms of like big entertainment property launch. So I'd be shocked if it didn't win. But I too want Metroid Prime 4 for obvious Nintendo fanboy
any
reasons.
games that come out. I feel bad for anything that comes out the same year as GTA 6.
Well, I mean, the Switch 2 will be coming out the same year, but I guess it's kind of a different ball game, so it's fine.
Yeah, the Switch isn't really competing with it, so I think it's fine.
Just watch GTA 6 on Switch
the cloud
2,
version.
Launch day and date.
I'll get the cloud version.
No, it'd be really cool if Switch 2 got it. But
I feel like cloud version is actually feasible, but we'll see where how that shakes out. But yeah, that gets my pick as well. What about you, Kevin? Are you thinking GTA 6 as well?
Yeah, GTA 6 is definitely going to win. I'm personally really excited about it. I'm not the GTA like hardcore fanboy, but like I really liked 5 and this story. Like, did you guys ever watch the GTA 6 trailer?
Yeah. Back in Vice City, right?
Yeah, like this being a sort of like Bonnie and Clyde story. Like especially after Red Dead and Red Dead 2. Like I'm sort of hoping that this is a more mature Grand Theft Auto, especially with its Bonnie and Clyde narrative. That being said, I do want Metroid Prime 4 to win the game to win the award, but I mean it's GTA 6. It's going to get overtaken.
Yeah, 100%. Watch everyone else vote for not GTA 6, thinking everyone else is going to vote for GTA 6, and they're going to throw a bone to. It's like a 5-way tie between all the others.
It's weird because the way that the Game Awards work, it's like a panel of industry people, and then like the fan vote counts for like 10% or like 20% of
I think it's 30 now.
30%?
Like
Jesus.
Maybe 20. Yeah, no, it's a chunk. And then there's a separate like fan chosen award. That's 100%. Yeah.
But I feel like this most anticipated thing should just probably be all fans versus like
for some reason I thought it was this specific category, but maybe not.
Maybe it is. I'm just talking out of my ass here, but
I don't know. I honestly don't know. It would make sense to be. So it didn't occur to me it might not be. But yeah, it would be strange if it was like 8 journalists or like 22 journalists just like, yeah, personally, I'm really excited for Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Let's give it to that one. Like, yeah, but you never know.
Yeah. Also, something forgot to mention. We are given points based off this. So if you're who do you want to win wins, you get 1 point, and who will win will get 2 points. Actually, let's switch it up. If you're who do you want to win
wins,
we'll give you the 2 points there because the who will win is sort of like the slam dunk.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you get points for like your underdog, you'll get more points for that. And we're not competing for anything. We're not competing for money. It's literally just bragging rights. I forgot who won last year. And I can't find the file anywhere.
I don't remember either, but we could dig it up.
I think it was close between me and you. I think Angel was nowhere near. Yeah, I think it was like a difference between 1 or 2 points between me and you.
Yeah, we were literally like one apart, but I don't remember who pulled ahead.
Yeah, I don't.
Clearly, this is so important that we remember.
Yeah, but it's something fun that we do every year.
Oh yeah.
So best
adaptation. Our fantasy football.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Best adaptation: Arcane, Fallout Season 1, Knuckles Season 1. Oh, I guess I'm assuming this is Arcane Season 2, which is weird because when they put out this nominees, it still wasn't over, but.
Yeah,
I guess by the time that we get to the Game Awards, it is, so whatever. Yakuza Season 1 and the Tomb Raider anime that apparently came out.
Isn't Yakuza Season 1 not out till next month?
No,
wrong? Did it already come out?
It already came out.
Oh, clearly made a cultural splash. Clearly,
yeah.
I didn't even know there was a Tomb Raider anime. When I saw that,
I didn't either.
Siri's looking it up. She has no idea what's going on either. Anyway, I think. So I think Fallout's good. This is tough. I was going to say, I want Fallout to take it. Because I really enjoyed Season 1. I also enjoyed Knuckles. I very much enjoyed that Knuckles converted to Judaism for an episode, which I was like, oh, cool. He's like me now. But I think realistically, it's very close between Fallout and Arcane. I want it to be Fallout. I'm going to go ahead just for the sake of the points. I'm going to say it's going to be Fallout.
Fallout for both?
Yeah.
Copy. Angel?
Man, this is the first time I haven't seen anything on here. I haven't seen Knuckles. I haven't seen Arcane.
I'm shocked
season
you still haven't seen Knuckles. Like, I'm genuinely shocked.
We do have the
Steelbook.
Steelbook.
Who's a Sonic fan. I know, and you still haven't watched.
Still in the shrink wrap. Yeah, I mean, well, we've just been busy. We just don't really have a lot of time. Like, anytime we do have, we'll just play Tales of Symphonia. I mean, maybe during the holiday season.
A friend of Tales spelled a different way instead.
I'm sure we'll watch it eventually. Maybe like closer to Sonic 3's release. But
so
I
like in the
did
next 3
really,
weeks.
really enjoy Arcane Season 1. So if it's anything like... So if Season 2 is anything like Season 1, then I guess I would hope Arcane wins. Just because what it did for like that quality of animation, I guess like for just the show, was just really impressive. You know, the storytelling, the visuals, everything was pretty cool. And that's coming from someone that's never played anything League of Legends. Like, this was all I know about it. And even then, I still wasn't even sure. Like, as I was watching it, like, the connection was so, I guess, minor that it didn't even, like, as I'm watching, I'm not thinking, like, oh, these are League of Legends characters. Because I didn't even know, like, who they were. Like, I think I only started to recognize them at conventions in their League of Legends promotions or banners after seeing Arcane. I was like, oh, I know who Jinx is now. Like, that's Jinx. But before, you know, even if like the characters were there, like, I would have definitely never noticed them. Not that they don't have like striking character designs, but you know, when I would say they look not too dissimilar from like other wacky hero designs. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, I mean, I guess I would just give both of them to Arcane.
Oh, interesting.
We have a split.
We got ourselves a ball game, boys.
Oh, yeah. And now, Kevin, you're going to come in and say Yakuza.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wait, Yakuza was in there?
Yeah, the Yakuza was in there. I'm going to go for the Tomb Raider anime. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, there we go.
No, this was
you went up
hard.
my Yakuza.
I mean, I think Arcane's going to take it. It took it 2 years ago or whenever that first season came out. But this is a toss-up. Like, I guess I'll give it a Fallout. At least I saw the first episode of Fallout. I have not seen anything Arcane, so I'll give it to Fallout. Yeah. It took not that it took the internet by storm, but like it was a pretty well received adaptation.
Fallout? Yeah, it's been viewed by like 75 million households worldwide or some crazy number.
But I'm talking
like critically, like in terms of
that too. But I'm just surprised at the scale it reached. Like, it's nuts. Yeah.
It did seem for a moment like everybody's watching it, but then I almost feel like almost as quickly as I started hearing that people were watching it, just no one was talking about it.
That's because they dropped all the episodes at once for some reason.
Yeah,
so everyone did watch it in
more
full,
like fall off
in a day.
But...
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I will say I should have given Arcane a bone because season 2 of Arcane, like one of the lead songs on the soundtrack is Linkin Park, and I was actually very confident Linkin Park was going to perform at the Game Awards for Arcane, but they have a show in Saudi Arabia, so instead 21 Pilots, who's also on the soundtrack, will be performing at the Game Awards, so I was almost right. So I should vote for Arcane, but I'm sticking with Fallout.
Fallout, it's like a close second. Like, I feel like if Arcane doesn't get it, it's definitely going to be Fallout.
Yeah, it's one of these two is going to get it.
I don't know if I get like half points, but like, it's definitely one of those two. But I'm going to give it to Arcane.
Yeah. Okay. Best multiplayer, we have Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Super Mario Party, Jamboree, Tekken 8, and Space Marine 2.
Wait, for best what?
Multiplayer.
Oh.
I mean, we have yet to even give our Mario Party Jamboree.
Yeah, I have more to say for Mario Party, but for now I'll say Mario Party because it does a lot good. That's all I'll say.
I want it to be Mario Party in part because it's the only thing that's not like Like all those other games are kind of simpler.
Well,
vibe.
remember,
wait, what were the other games?
Two things: Mario Party. There's who do you want to win and who will win.
Yeah.
So.
What were the other games?
Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Tekken 8, and Space Marine 2.
I want to be Mario Party because Mario Party is a burst of color in a sea of brown, minus Tekken, which is a little less brown. But I think realistically, given its given its momentum and the surprise hit that it was, and still having pretty good, I think, concurrent player base right now, I could see it being Helldivers 2 as kind of the upset against Call of Duty. Yeah.
Helldivers was pretty fun. I did play. I guess that's the one new game I played this year besides Mario Party. Yeah. The fact that I actually even bothered to play it for at least a couple weeks before it just kind of like...
It's award-winning right there. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I love the humor. I mean, a lot of people said it was like, oh yeah, if you like Starship Troopers, but I haven't seen that movie. I just, bugs. Space and democracy, but yeah, I think that one's gonna get it, but I'd want Mario Party to get it.
I think
the music is great in that game. Makes you feel like you're in a blockbuster. Like
I'll give the win to Helldivers. As far as what I want to win,
no one.
I think I don't. I mean, I know
we're revoking this award.
I know what every game here is, but like, I don't feel strong about any of them. Maybe Tekken 8, just because I did when it released. I did enjoy watching a lot of Tekken 8 streams. It was really fun to watch. Best Family, for the first time,
real quick on best multiplayer. Wait, real quick. I don't understand how a game called Space Marine is not a parody. And how it has a sequel.
It's Warhammer.
No, I know,
40K
but like it's such a generic name. The first one was announced like, oh, this can't be serious, and it was. And then there's enough seriousness for a sequel, and now it's nominated. Like, good for the game, but that name, my God, so generic.
Yeah, those games were really well received.
Yeah,
with something as generic as like Space Marine. Yeah,
it's like calling Call of Duty like Army Game or something. But anyway,
Best Family. For the first time, not dominated by Nintendo.
They're barely in it, relatively speaking. Yeah.
No, what do you mean?
They have like
Best
3
Family?
Instead of 5.
Yeah, 3 of 5. Yeah. We have Astrobot, Princess Peach Showtime, Mario Party Jamboree, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and The Plucky Squire.
Plucky out of
family
field,
game,
right?
For best family game. Yep.
And I hope Astrobot wins, and I think Astrobot's gonna win. That game is just so charming. Like, just like Astrobot. Astrobot. Because like, especially we have like a very young niece who will occasionally watch my brother play Astrobot, and like just like the immediate like love and appeal that character brought. Like, she like fell in love with him right away, and the fact that you could like zoom the camera into like Astro, like just put it up right next to him, and then he'll wave, and then she waves back. It's so adorable.
Aww.
And not to mention that it's like the game is like, because it's like the core game is a very simplistic platformer. Like, you're not really gonna struggle with this one. It's like it's a Jason kind of game. Not that like, Jason is an easy game. It's more like
I don't take that negatively.
No, it's just like it's kind of like a passive platformer where it's as difficult as you want to make it. So if you just kind of want to like chill and just like play through the game, you'll be able to do that easily. But if you want like a harder challenge, there are some extra collectibles that do that for you, and there's also like challenge levels on the side for those that want that. But otherwise, it's like a really great game to like hand the controller to like a young kid, just for a couple lives. No harm, no foul. They'll have fun, and then you get the controller back. Or you could just give them a fake controller so they could think they're playing. And that works just as well. Because there's so many little characters running around that, they might think they're controlling it. But, yeah, it's just such a great game. Weird that, it is a single-player game, so counting it a family game is maybe not quite. I feel like usually just give it to Mario Party. But I really, really like Astrobot, so I'm just going to throw both of my votes at it.
Almost every game in this category is a single player game, which is funny to me. But it seems like
but definitely not Princess Peach's Showtime. Like, that game, that game looks charming and stuff, but like if you have a whole family sitting there, like like at least half of them are gonna fall asleep. It's very slow paced.
I think Family Game.
You have to be the one playing it. It's just very. It's almost like too.
Well, let me see.
Key.
Let me see how the Game Awards.
Well, it's interesting because I think Angel landed on it unintentionally, which is it's a great game. You can hand a controller to someone that's watching and have them play with you or alternate.
Here's how the Game Awards describes Best Family. For the best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform. So,
see, yeah, that's still kind of vague because family play would that imply you're playing together or you're like tag teaming it, like with Astrobot,
or like you're playing with something
a kid next to you.
I guess something family friendly. Yeah. I think is just what it means.
I think that's what it means too.
Best family friendly game.
Yeah, and we were saying 3 out of 5 are Nintendo instead of 5 out of 5, but arguably it's almost 4 out of 5 because Astrobot is Nintendo in spirit in so many ways.
Yeah, because that game manages to feel so grand while still being like as rated G as possible, but still giving you like the spectacle of like, whoa, like the biggest AAA games, which are usually not rated E for everyone.
Except Nintendo's.
Except Nintendo's. But you get it with the PlayStation 5 visuals.
Take it. Yeah.
I think Astrobot's going to take it. Who do you want to take it?
I mean, I talked it up a lot when I gave impressions, and I plan to beat it by the end of the year, so I really do like it. Echoes of Wisdom. I want to take it. But also just shout out to Plucky Squire for even making it in there. That was kind of out of left field.
Yeah.
Visually, the game is crazy.
Yeah, the visuals are great on that game.
I'm going to steal Angel's answer and give it to Astrobot for both.
In all honesty, I know Astrobot should be the one I want, even though I know a way to play it. Just it nails everything it's trying to do so well from everything I've seen. But like, I just should give it to Zelda because I'm actually.
Well, that's why we have 2 categories. It's the one you want. Clearly, Astrobot's not the one you want.
No, it is. Yeah, okay.
It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like he's clearly in like Zelda or some Nintendo thing.
Just because I gotta stay true to my team.
Why can't you be in both teams?
Let's not overcomplicate. Let's not overcomplicate. No, I know. Yeah.
We have a good relationship.
Okay. Next category, which is very. I was debating whether to put this one in there. But best fighting, we have Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Grand Blue Fantasy versus something.
Sure.
NBC Fighting Collection, Multiverses, and Tekken 8.
Huh. No Rivals of Ether 2? Interesting.
I think they just missed the deadline.
Oh. Well, so I don't know what I'll pick for next year.
But who knows if it'll still be recognized by next year too.
Yeah.
To be fair, Smash.
That game deserves
Smash
a lot of credit for
bigger, but Smash was late and still got recognized a year later.
But that's also Smash.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. But this game,
the Cindy game.
Yeah. Well, if it was in here, I would definitely give it to that because that game is by far my favorite Smash-like that isn't Smash. But anyway,
it's not Angel.
So you could give it to Multiverses, which is a Smash-like.
So what isn't here? You said Marvel versus Capcom collection.
Multiverses, Tekken 8, Grand Blue Fantasy, and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Oof, that's rough. I don't even know if I could give it to just Multiverses because I barely touched it since it relaunched this year.
But have you touched any of these other games?
No.
So it's technically ahead by a hair.
I think I probably play... No, I play Multiverses more than the demo of Sparking Zero at Anime Expo. That's the only other one I've played. And that was fun. Damn, I don't know.
I'll go first for this. I'll go first.
Let me go last.
I want NBC Collection to get it, if only to show Capcom that hey, we want a brand new Marvel vs. Capcom, something more akin to Ultimate 3 or even NBC 2. Don't give us that Infinite stuff that nobody liked. A lot of people did like it. It was just not polished.
They like the gameplay, just not the.
Everything else. So I want NBC Fighting Collection to take it, but I think Tekken 8 will eventually just.
I think Tekken's taking it. Yeah.
That is a great answer for want. I definitely do want that. I want more Phoenix Wright chances for him to appear in a fighting game.
You know what? I'll join that
for
party.
want.
I'll join the want party. I appreciate Marvel vs. Capcom.
Okay.
Plus, the collection comes with a little comic book if you get the physical version. Like
and maybe the next Marvel vs. Capcom can also be on Switch too. I mean, I feel like those games always belonged on a Nintendo game. It was kind of weird that it never got a port to Switch, MVC3, but I think it got ported to PS4 eventually.
It got ported to the Vita.
Oh my god.
Every time I hear Vita, I think of that like Vita means life meme.
As far as gonna get it, yeah, probably Tekken 8. The only other one I could think of is maybe like Blue. Was it Blaze Blue?
Grand Blue Fantasy.
Grand Blue.
Oh, Grand Blue. Oh, the one with the little knight with the big crown, or the little princess knight thing.
I played the first Grand Blue Fantasy Versus game. It was fun. I played it for about a week.
Damn, people seem really happy with Sparking Zero, except for like some Vegeta giant monkey boss that seemed to really angry some people because of the balancing. But outside of that, people seem to like it. But that also seems to have just died, as far as the general conversation goes.
There was a tournament that was actually, I think it was a Bandai Namco sponsored tournament, and the France Grand Finals is some of those most miserable gameplay you'll ever see in your entire life.
Oh man,
not what I expected you to say.
I'm gonna give Gonna win to Grand Blue just for some variety, because I feel like it would either be that or Tekken.
There's no way in hell Grand Blue takes it. I don't think I saw any people who play fighting games to
talk about Grand Blue beyond.
Grand Blue.
Yeah, no.
As good as that game is, because it is an Arc System Works game, but all right. Whatever floats your boat, Angel. All right. Getting into our next category, Best RPG, Dragon's Dogma 2, Shadow of the Erd Tree, which is the
I lose by 1 point. I don't know why.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and Metaphor ReFantazio.
Wait, what is this for?
Best RPG.
All right. I'll go first because Kevin, based on the only information I have on these games beyond their existence is your impressions. And I know Rebirth wasn't hitting right for you. It wasn't hitting how you thought it would. But I know Metaphor, based on last episode, is. So Metaphor is my choice, and Metaphor is my pick for what's going to
win. So Metaphor for both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, that was weirdly
worded. The other option besides Metaphor and
what I think I got it. Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, Final Fantasy Rebirth, and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth.
I wonder the first two barely felt like when I think of RPGs. They are, but yeah.
You got to take into account that the industry is voting on this anything. As well. No, the industry is voting on this too. It's not just like fan votes.
No, yeah. I'm not talking about
as far as
nomenclature. Damn, I don't know.
Actually, no, I'm going to pull the ripcord on mine. I'm going to give Metaphor as the one I want to win, but I think Rebirth might actually take it from the Craig perspective.
Okay.
Even though I know you weren't as... Yeah, I'm just...
No, it's all good. All good.
Yeah. I'm not personally offending you, Kevin, I swear.
I'm going to do the opposite. I want Rebirth to win, but I'm pretty sure Metaphor is going to get it.
Ooh. Interesting.
Oh, no, that's a shot fired at you if I've ever heard one. No,
honestly, as far as who will win, it's a toss-up for me. I would want Metaphor to win. But as far as who will win, I'm going to throw in the dark horse. I think Shadow of the Erd Tree is going to win.
Interesting. The fact that it even got nominated as DLC speaks a lot about it.
Isn't there a best DLC category?
There is not a best DLC category.
Which is another bone to pick. There's ongoing games, but not DLC.
The Joystick Awards or some other awards that were earlier this month did have a best DLC.
The Joystick Awards. That's wow. Not one I expected to hear name dropped here.
Wait, I guess best ongoing. Hold on. There's this Polygon article, but it's not the game. Awards best ongoing. Because I didn't add best ongoing onto this. Oh, God, Google sucks so much now.
Here, why don't you go to the next category and I'll pull it up while you do that.
No, I got it right here. Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Helldivers. This is basically best live service game.
Yeah, it's live service, which I think is a weird choice to have a live service category, but then not a DLC category. I remember last year, like Mario Kart 8, all the DLC for Mario Kart 8 was sort of just left out. I'm like, they were doing it every 6 to 8 weeks for a year and a half. It's DLC, but it's live service. Like, the distinction is very odd. So,
was Tears of the Kingdom this year or last year?
Tears of the Kingdom came out in 23.
Oh, last year?
Tears was...
Yeah. No, it was last year. It was May 2023. Yeah. And it did not win Game of the Year.
Which I think speaks volume to how Tears of the Kingdom just came and went.
It really did. In sales, too. I said it on the podcast before, but it had a huge burst, and then it just... Breath of the Wild outsells it quarterly now. It's really interesting. It's very Majora's Mask in a way, where Majora's Mask like came in, hit big, and just disappeared.
The algorithm lately on YouTube has decided that I really want to see a bunch of video essays about why Tears of the Kingdom is such a big disappointment, and just variations on that title. Like, why Tears of the Kingdom is the worst Zelda game, why Tears of the Kingdom disappointed me, why Tears of the Kingdom is actually a terrible game, and blah, blah, blah.
Why Tears of the Kingdom didn't hit it, yo.
First, it seems to be like, it seemed like people were really up on it right when it came out, and now it's like, cool, I guess the statute of limitations passed, now everyone can hate on it.
Yeah, there's a cycle.
That seems to be what happened with Skyward Sword as well. Like,
I've been hating on Tears of the Kingdom since before it came out. Right?
You have.
Because I didn't like Breath of the Wild at all.
You're a real one, Kevin. No, it. I understand the dislike in regard, or not the dislike. I understand like the recoil, so to speak, in regards to how it's performing sales-wise. I don't understand people who enjoyed the game and then suddenly are like, actually, I didn't enjoy the game. That part I don't quite like. If you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it. Now all this like, oh, actually, it wasn't good. But you thought it was good.
I watched only one of those videos after the fact because it was getting kind of aggressive with how many. And I'm like, I'll watch one of them. And it had nothing to do with mechanics or anything. It was literally just, I basically ran the main path of the game.
Yeah.
But then stopped right before fighting the final boss and did all the side stuff.
Well, that sounds like a big problem.
Yeah. So essentially they were like, it really bothered them that you find out some things towards the end of the game. They didn't really spoil what it was, but it's like pretty critical, narrative changes, like revelations. But because you interact with a lot of those same characters and a lot of that side stuff, I guess none of those characters acknowledge that change and still act like you don't know that reveal. And that's just what bothered them. Just I guess the consistency in like the continuity. So it kind of like ruined the immersion because they're like, wait, why didn't they account for someone? If the whole point of the game is to beat it how you want, why are these characters suddenly have amnesia and then they suddenly don't? It's like, wait, we already know this. Why are we pretending like we don't, or why are we doing this? So like it just makes some character choices seem weird or not make sense. But yeah, so I'm like, interesting. But that was it. I'm sure, I don't know if any of the other videos are about that, but the one I happened to pick was about the narrative tree. Anyway, I already forgot what we were doing.
Best action adventure.
Best ongoing game. Best ongoing game.
No. I didn't choose best ongoing game.
Okay,
for this.
fine. Best action adventure.
Best action adventure. Astro Boy, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, and Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. I put Echoes of Wisdom.
Action adventure?
Astro might win. Echoes, though, is what I want to win.
Really consider
that.
Actually, hold on. What's that list again?
It's another category where I don't think of some of these games as either of those.
Astro Boy, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, and Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom.
Honestly, Star Wars is the only one that even fits the category in the traditional sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. Prince of Persia: Lost Crown is a Metroidvania of sorts, so okay, that could fit.
Wait, there was a new Prince of Persia?
Yeah, it came out in January.
It was a Metroidvania.
The Last Crown is supposed to be very good. It's only like $15 for Black Friday or $20.
Wait, is that the one that got like a art style revamp or something?
That's the one that they launched with like.
remake,
Yeah, no, this one They announced at E3. They set it to like a rap song, which people are like, huh? But then it ended up the rap song actually, whatever that rap song was, actually wasn't bad as a rap song. But then it like ended up being a really good Metroidvania, like really good. Mm-hmm. And then it didn't perform well enough in sales, and then Ubisoft disbanded the team. And then to make up for the team being disbanded and the bad news and their stock sinking among other issues, they very quickly were like, but don't worry, a bunch of those team members are making a new Rayman game now. And that's the last we heard.
Yikes.
So, yeah.
I like those Rayman games.
Yeah, I like Rayman, and I've heard Prince of Persia is great, so I wish those devs the best. But and I think they'll put out a good product. But yeah, in terms of the category, Astro Boy maybe isn't the most logical for best action. I'm sticking with Zelda as the one I want.
I'm giving Prince of Persia Persian. I'm giving Prince of Persia my who do I want to win. Jason, you want to give it to Zelda?
Yeah, you know what? After my whole spiel, I'm going to give it to Prince of Persia. Yeah.
Well, Jason changed mics.
Yeah, Jason changed mics.
Oh, sorry. My headphones died for a split second. Yeah, but I'm back.
That's fine.
No, it sounded
Which is a long episode, guys.
Yeah. It sounded like you got you jumped on a studio mic. I'm like, whoa, where did this come from?
No, it went from my AirPod to the mic that is on the recording that the listeners are hearing is the same mic throughout. But what you guys heard was my AirPod to my phone to my AirPod.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well,
inside baseball. Yeah.
Well, action adventure. Shoot, I don't feel good about any of these for either of my picks.
Whether they fit the category or
about
not,
all of these.
You have to choose something.
No, I know. Damn, well, it's funny because I also don't feel like any of these would win this category. So it's like, but someone has to win, obviously.
By logistics of this award show, one will win, I promise you.
Put myself, all right, I'm wearing a tuxedo.
You are Jeff Keighley.
I just play a ton of games, but
on the ticket or whatever to the Game Awards. How much was
it? What?
How much was the ticket to this thing?
Oh, God. They jacked the prices up. Or I thought they did, but then they opened up.
What is it?
Back. I paid like $180.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know what's wrong with me, guys. I thought Linkin Park would be there, okay? I don't know.
Man. And that's not even counting the food and refreshments. Jeez.
Well, I don't get refreshments when I go. I'm too focused on the games.
All right. I'll say Star Wars is going to win, and I'll hope Astrobot wins again.
The one you thought didn't even belong. Got it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give Prince of Persia both my who do I want and who will win.
Okay.
Because I think it's the most. No, Astrobot is probably the most critically acclaimed out of here.
It is. Prince of Persia is right behind it, though. They both are like 90+ in score in like Metacritics and stuff.
Really?
I believe so. Prince of Persia got real good reviews. Yeah.
What are you giving your pick?
Me?
As a who will win? Yeah.
Oh, I was saying Prince of Persia is my pick for who will win, but I want Zelda just because.
Oh, gotcha.
Nintendo only has like 4 nominees this year, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna put Prince of Persia will win, and I'll just keep Astrobot as my.
Man, imagine if Astrobot wins and we duped you into picking the bad choice.
Well, I'm still putting it as my want to win. That's worth.
Yeah, I know.
And by picking the same one as you three, then it kind of negates it, so it's fine.
This is the first category where we all choose something different for who do we want to win. So this will be interesting. Okay. Best action game. Now this is just pure action, not an action adventure, just pure
Elden Ring is probably in there.
No, it's under RPG.
It's gonna be under everything.
Black Myth Wukong, Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, and Space Marine 2. Suck it, Angel.
Wow.
You know what? I'm going to throw a curveball. I think, I don't know what I want, but I think there might be a weird twist and Stellar Blade could take it.
Okay.
I don't know why I think that. Just Stellar Blade seems to have this momentum behind it that kind of was out of nowhere. But then again, same with, what was the first game you said?
Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah. Black Myth was also one that Black Myth was weird because it didn't even review all that hot, and it's up for this and Game of the Year. Like, it did fine in reviews, but it wasn't like lighting the world on fire.
Yeah, it was like a mid-'80s game, I think.
Yeah, and then it kind of like crept up in like popular like.
Well, yeah, I mean, it had the visuals really, really going for it.
That's true. I'm gonna say Starblade just cause again, Yeah, but but the two of them are my picks, I think. I'm trying to decide which I put where.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say Stellar Blade's my choice. Just why not? And I'll say Black Myth is one that's going to end up getting it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I kind of flipped from what I said a second ago, but yeah.
I think I'm going with... I want Helldivers to win. As far as who will win, yeah, I think Black Myth is taking it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot Helldivers was even in the category.
Black Myth Wukong as well for who I think will win and for who I want to win. I guess it's Astrobot again.
It's not even part of the category.
He's not here. He's not here.
I'll put it on there though.
Write-in candidate.
Right. You win this entire thing if Astrobot wins Best Action Game. Already.
Yeah, if Astrobot wins Best Action, we're buying.
What were the other categories? What were the other ones besides Stellar Blade and Black Myth?
Black Ops 6, Helldivers, and Space Marine.
Ooh. Give it a Space Marine as the want.
All right. Best mobile game. We have AFK Journey, Balatro, Pokemon Pocket, Wuthering Waves, and Zenless Zone Zero.
Balatro's
first
gonna
off,
win.
Yeah.
3 gacha games. Actually, AFK Journey is a gacha game as well, if I'm not mistaken. So 4 gacha games and Balatro.
Balatro's
I'm
going to
give
win.
Balatro to both simply because it's not a gacha game.
Balatro's going to win.
I think I'm there with you.
You
want Pocket to win,
to,
just say it.
I want Pocket. So ZZZ threw with IGN.
And you
a
think
very
Pocket's
nice
going to
Comic-Con
win too
party.
because it's Nintendo.
So I feel like they get a shout out
you.
for that. But overall, I want Pocket because it's the one I actually play or collect. But yeah, Balatro's going to win.
Yeah. Okay. Best score and music. We have Astrobot, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor, Silent Hill 2, and Stellar Blade.
I could pick them out of a hat. I couldn't tell you.
Well, you know the pedigree of
Is
at
it
least
fair
some
for
of these.
Final Fantasy? Because it's like, is using a couple, I'm guessing, remixes?
Well, by that same token, Marvel vs. Capcom shouldn't be up for fighting games.
Yeah, that are of a very well-established, well-loved soundtrack.
Doesn't matter. I'm going to give Final Fantasy the nod for... what was the list again? Sorry.
Astrobot, Final Fantasy, Metaphor, Silent Hill, and Stellar Blade.
Final Fantasy's going to get it. Metaphor I want to get because I remember you saying it goes in a different direction tonally than like the Persona games.
I'm going to give Astrobot the want because it does have a very fun and creative soundtrack, especially for the levels based on other Sony properties. They have some pretty cool remixes. And I mean, they literally incorporated Boy into the God of War level, into like their little dubstep remix of it.
Wait, really?
Yeah, like
cool.
like it kind of builds up, and then you just hear like Boy, and then it goes into like a little dubsteppy thing.
They use the Boy as the beat drop. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's kind of the tone of the soundtrack.
Can I change mine off strictly that?
Yes, you can change it.
Okay. Sorry, Kevin. Metaphor's out for my choice. Astro's in just for that. Boy beat drop.
I'll give it a Final Fantasy for who I think is going to win.
Okay.
Feels like a safe pick.
It's a safe pick for sure.
I think I'm also with you guys with Astrobot, but I will say I think Metaphor's going to take it.
Okay.
No way. That was like its weakest aspect.
Wow,
that was a strong response.
All right. Best art direction, Astro Boy, Astrobot.
Dude, I think I said Astro Boy earlier.
You did earlier.
It's all a blur at this point.
Astrobot.
What is this? This ain't no anime.
Shadow of the Erdtree, Metaform, and a game called Neva.
Oh, Neva from the Gris direct team.
Sure.
Look at what this game
is. It's an indie game. Neva? It's very pretty. It's side-scrolling. I'm going to give it to Neva as my choice.
That helps, Jason. Oh, this one, the one with the...
Oh, now you get it, yeah.
The one with the deer wolf.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Neva because they're an indie team. Their previous work looked really nice. What I remember from this one looked really nice. But they're an indie team, so it'd be cool if they win. In terms of what will win, what were the other choices? Astro and what?
Astro, Black Myth, Shadow of the Erdtree, and Metaphor.
Ooh. I feel like Metaphor could be a good contender.
Metaphor could be it.
But what I will say, not to keep like tooting like Astro Boy's like praises or whatever, but
Astrobot. I mean, if you love Astro Boy, that's cool too. He's a little rocket man that flies around and does the Astro Boy on Game Boy Advance should be nominated. That was Omega Force is a good treasure game.
I think I would want Astro Boy to win just because of what. Oh my God! It's done. Astro. I want Astro to win. Let's get rid of that suffix altogether. Yeah, it's just. Actually, no. I take that back. It had one visual thing nitpicky. No. I'll say I want to win. It's. I just love what they did with the visuals. It's like if Galaxy was on PS5. So I don't imagine what Nintendo could do if they have that much hardware to go crazy with.
Just wait for Switch 2.
Oh yeah, I'll reverse this. I want Neva to win. It looks pretty, but I think Astro Boy will take it.
What about you, Kevin?
That's pretty strong art direction.
Oh, wait, Jason, I missed your cool win.
Oh, did I even say it? Did I say metaphor? I think I said metaphor.
Okay. My cool win, I think Shadow of the Erdtree is taking this.
Who you want to win?
Metaphor.
I figured. Yeah.
I don't know if we should include this one, but best narrative.
I mean, if you remove the UI, actually, damn. Man,
you still have a good-looking goddamn game, all right? Shut up.
Also, the UI is a very.
I was gonna say it looks average as heck, but I don't think I've actually seen. Looks like when you're running around the overworld, it's not the most impressive looking game, but
it's not the fidelity, it's the style.
No, well, yeah, well, I'm commenting on the style.
Okay.
But the combat and the enemy designs of some of these bosses, Jesus, that menu is so stylized, it's almost hard to read.
From the school of Sakurai menus. Actually, more so. I take that back.
Wait, is that Marth?
Second fiddle to that.
Main character just looks like a multicolored Marth, multi-eye colored Marth. Oh, you got Navi in here too.
Anyway,
and someone from Attack on Titan.
What were we saying about narrative, Kevin? Not to rush us, but what were we saying about narrative?
I don't know whether I should include this one or not, but best narrative: Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth,
for us to judge.
Metaphor, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2.
Like of all the categories, I feel that's the one that you have to have played.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going off perception here. Hellblade 2, I've heard is more story than gameplay. I don't know if that's true, but I'm gonna say Hellblade 2 has a shot. So I'm gonna say Hellblade 2 might get it, but I'm gonna say that Like a Dragon should get it because I've also heard that has a very fun story. And by what I've heard, I mean I've seen a tweet once about one of them sometime in the past.
That's
Astrobot for both.
It's just this is just the wild card category.
Both, all right. Astrobot gets best narrative. If Angel's choosing Astrobot, I'm putting Kingdom Hearts 2 on this thing.
We can put anything we want. Oh well, then throw Elite Beat Agents. Throw Elite Beat Agents on there for me. That's a fun story, as light as it is. Yeah.
Elite Beat Agents is taking it for. Yeah.
If any of these are proven right,
want Elite Beat Agents to win.
Have best narrative,
and Hellblade is going to take it, but you want Elite Beat Agents to win.
Correct. I want them to look back on a DS rhythm game and be like, you know what? It was really light, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, that narrative.
I'm gonna give it to Kingdom. I want Kingdom Hearts 2 to win. I want The Road to El Dorado to take it.
Is that even a game at this point? Or are we just saying movies? That's a game. Okay. Right?
Next category. Best game direction. We're almost done here. Best game direction. Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth, Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor. 6 games.
Astro. Those are mine.
Astro.
I just love how, I mean, it's very Nintendo-y in a way. I'm not trying to discredit what they did. What they did is amazing. But the direction it went is one that feels refreshing on a platform that doesn't usually go in that direction. And it's one that I obviously enjoy as a Nintendo fan. And I think it resonated with people given how well it did and how well it was received.
I'm going Astro and Shadow of the Erdtree.
I actually think Shadow has a really good shot, but yeah, I'm sticking with my Astros.
Gonna go Astro and Balatro.
Just rhyming at this point.
Astro as your who do you want to win? Who wins Balatro?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Last category, boys. Game of the year. The exact same 6 nominees: Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth, Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor.
Astro. I really...
Astro.
I almost want to... Yeah, Astro.
I think realistically...
It can't be...
I actually want Balatro to win.
It can't be Elden Ring, and they did that last year. 2 years ago?
I think it could be Elden Ring.
It got the nomination. That's what it's gonna get. It's gonna get the other category, the RPG one.
Maybe
They'll give it to some fresh blood.
All right. Well, in that case, you know what? It's not gonna be Astro, as much as I hate to say it. I don't think. What were the
I really hope it's
again?
Astro, because that would send a nice message to the platformers in the game industry.
I agree. What are the choices again? It was Astro,
message.
Balatro,
Black Myth, Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII, and Metaphor.
I want Balatro to win just because I want to see the reactions to that. Because it's so, like, out of pocket.
Right.
Traditionally, the Game Awards.
Pure game.
It's the most pure game. It's really nice to see that pure of a game and that small of a team
it has an
elevate
Among Us
to that
crossover.
level of being Game of the Year. And it would be such a... In the same way Astro Bot would be a sort of signaling to the industry, not everything has to be the same. Like this would too. So
Someone's also
regard,
just a straight up
cool.
game. Very, I mean, of all of those, besides Balatro, it's just like doable.
Yeah.
Not even
Yeah, no,
sitting
you're
up
right.
and
You're right, for sure. But yeah,
it's also the
I
most
want to be
game
Balatro
of
just for the
those.
reactions. And I think realistically, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. Astro Bot, not boy, is going to take it.
Okay.
Somehow.
Ooh.
Balatro always sounds interesting, but it loses me on the fact that it's
Cards.
a card game.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat.
Well, and not
I
even
just like
just
the
any
idea
cards,
of the
like
game, it's
specifically poker cards. Doesn't matter how they're used, but as soon as you use poker cards in your game, you lose me. That's why I never go into solitaire.
What if you
Well,
mod
that's
it?
good.
to
That means
be
you'll never be
anything else?
addicted to gambling, so that's a plus.
Well, don't you have like skins you can use, like Among Us stuff, and
Castlevania.
it's like
Vampire Survivor, maybe not
Vampire
Castlevania,
Diaries.
Vampire Survivor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vampire Diaries. Yeah. Smallville.
it's just not.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just an aesthetic that doesn't, appeal to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just like card number matching and stuff like that. Like I need some kind of timing, skill-based precision thing to bite my teeth on, or cut my teeth on, however the expression goes.
Yeah, cut your teeth.
I hate that expression.
And yet you used it.
Yeah,
I want Metaphor to win. But man, this one's actually tough.
It is. There's not a standout.
It's
This
like
year,
in
that sense.
I want Metaphor to win, but I also wouldn't be disappointed if Balatro took it.
I really want Balatro to take it. The more I think about
But
it, it just
also, like,
sends a signal.
I have this
to your enemies.
I have this gut feeling that Shadow of the Erdtree is going to take it.
That's why I was saying until Angel convinced me it'd go best RPG, and that's it. I think Shadow Gang, as high as it did as DLC, is sort of a, like, not a red flag, but like a yellow flag that's going to take it all. I don't know. Like, I'm giving it to Astro just because I want Astro to get it, but I think you're right. I think you're right. Honestly, I think they're going to say it, and it's going to be a whole brouhaha because a bunch of folks will be like, oh, but it's DLC and not trying to count it and yada yada, which is a whole nother conversation to have one day about, like, should DLC count as a full game? But, yeah, I think you're not crazy for thinking that, Kevin.
Like, I don't think...
I also don't understand what that is. Like, I'm guessing you just need the base game still.
You need the base game, and
expansion.
you actually need to play a good chunk of the game before you can even access it.
Yeah,
That's
but it's like
kinda
a meaty expansion.
You have to
Yeah,
be
but
an
still,
optional
though.
boss to get into that content.
See, I don't know if you like that. Like,
I don't know if I like that being a game of the year versus part. Like, ongoing games should include DLC and it should fall under there, in my mind.
Yeah,
But then again, how long is this DLC? If it's like 10 hours long, that's the same length as like Astro Bot,
I
right?
don't think it matters how long it
this
is, in my
This is a whole
opinion.
conversation to be had, but just the fact that it's still on there.
Yeah, it's gonna. It might actually take it.
Yeah, like, I don't.
I shouldn't. I
don't like that being on there more than Sifu being on Best Fighting Game. However many years ago that was.
I think it was last year.
Yeah, it was
that was last year.
2 years.
I think so.
2 years?
2 years ago.
Well, whatever. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna do it. Angel, I'm sorry. You're a great friend, but I'm not gonna listen to you. I actually think it's gonna go all the way. I'm gonna change it. Can you change what I expect to be?
I wasn't trying to convince you.
Shadow of the Erdtree.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether I like Shadow of the Erdtree being on here or not,
that's the most boring pick.
It's not even the most boring pick. I just think.
Yeah, because if it wins, it's just like
I never finished it, but I love Elden Ring. But
it just seems destined. Like, how did it get this far if it wasn't going to go all the way? You know?
Yeah.
If enough critics are like, oh my god, we should nominate it, that over full-fledged independent releases that aren't part of another game.
Win the best game.
It did. And it's From Software, right? They are beloved right now by critics. Sony's on the cusp of maybe buying their parent company. Like, there's a lot happening around From Software. It's like this big powerhouse in the industry. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, it's Elden Ring, it's From Software. It got this far somehow. What would stop it from going that extra step? None of the other games in the category feel like they have the like oomph of a new From Software release, even if the release is DLC. You know?
It's like,
I feel like them just putting it on there is as far as we're ever going to take it.
It's sort of like just giving it its flowers, kind of thing.
Yeah. Because of the fact that it's already DLC, they're like, this is going to get people talking, but we're not going to pick it.
Which
it did.
We're just giving it its due. Like, yeah, obviously that's already going to be enough marketing.
But you also have to imagine like all these people that are actually, the industry. They put it on there for a reason, right? Like,
yeah.
Damn it! Maybe Angel has a point.
You know, why we switch? I'll take Elden Ring, and you can take Astro.
Or you take the ones you want.
Well, we are, but we're being swayed by.
I'm just like more torn.
Yeah, I'm leaning.
Behind
the more I think about it, the more I'm leaning towards.
If it wins, then the game is changing. But if it doesn't win, then it's going to play out pretty much how I imagine it is in my head. Where like at most they wanted to cause what we'll call controversy just by putting it on there.
Well, here's the thing about like causing controversy. Here's the little piece of that. The board that makes the journalists that work together to pick these games aren't part of the production at all. So it's not like the journalists were like, hey.
And it sounds like it makes more sense why they would do that, because to them it would matter less.
What do you mean?
We're getting into conspiracy.
Or matter more.
Yeah, no, I think they picked it because they genuinely believe in the quality of it and the scale of it to be, and the pedigree of the people making it to be a big enough thing to be Game of the Year. I don't think there's no like cahoots of like Jeff Keighley.
Watch tomorrow, hey guys, we're gonna get a tweet from Jeff Keighley like, so there's actually been a mistake. This game should not be in this category. My bad.
The one thing that feeds into your conspiracy is they quietly updated their FAQ to explain why DLC is eligible for full game awards the week before they announced the nominees. But at that point, of course, they knew what the jury picked, so it's not like it was a surprise to them. But yeah, that's the closest you'll get to your conspiracy theory. I genuinely think a bunch of critics just genuinely believe in the game.
You know what? Screw all of you. Metaphor is taking it.
That's the spirit. Go with your heart.
Oh, I'm going to regret those losing that point.
I can't wait till I'm right about this DLC and the whole industry erupts in a giant online flame war over it.
Oh, well, all right. That was a random Nintendo's picks. Well, we are collectively what? Random Nintendo?
Yeah. Random or Nintendo is a Random Nintendo production. So yeah, we are still Random Nintendo.
So that is Random Nintendo's pick, or picks actually for this year's Game Awards.
Heard exclusively on Randomer Nintendo.
That you heard here first on the Randomer Nintendo podcast.
First and only, because no one's rebroadcasting this little conversation.
Yep.
I don't think. So.
That'll do it for this episode. We will be back December 16th. Wow, this is the first time
17th.
that we actually give
we'll
you
be recording on the 16th.
17th. We will be recording December 16th. When this episode airs, it's up to Jason and up to me.
The next day. Actually, it is up to you. You do the edit. I stay up however
I
late
guess
to
it
get
is
up
up to me. So
yeah.
we'll see you guys next year. No, yeah, that'll do it for this episode. We'll be back December 17th.
17th.
That'll be the last episode of the year. We will be obviously going over Game Awards, the winners, any trailers that happened. Plus, it will also be our annual Quarantinis. Our 4th Quarantinis, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you thought we got in depth with this conversation, just wait till we make picks of our own. Actually, it'd probably be easier than this in many ways.
It'd be absolutely easier than this.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. That's all I've got. If you celebrate it, happy Thanksgiving to those that do. Jason is Jewish, so he doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving.
That's not how that works, but okay.
That'll do it, Jason. Please take us home.
I'm going to take you home with some reminders to make sure you don't miss our episode on December 17th. You can follow us on all your podcasting apps. That includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, YouTube, we're at Ram Nintendo. Twitter, we're at Ram Nintendo. I'm JSR7 on Twitter and Threads. Kevin is KV and Gomi on Twitter and Blue Sky still, maybe?
Yes,
and actually, I'm on Blue Sky too, but I don't do anything with the account yet, JSR7. And Angel is World of Weros with an S at the end over on Instagram. Am I taking us home with final word, or am I kicking it to Angel for the final word? Angel.
Give it to Angel for the final word. I know he already muted his mic, so I'm going to make him unmute.
Astrobot for both.